It's 90.7 FM, WFUV, New York. The next segue you'll hear is from music to sports. We're handing off to the WFUV Sports crew and live coverage of Fordham University men's basketball. The game will be on 90.7 FM, but the music doesn't stop. You can keep listening to this show online. Just open up the WFUV app or head to WFUV.org.
It's a fast and furious open to the final week of the season. Fordham on a mission to get back into the win column and earn a fourth bye in their history. Taking on UMass, the sharpshooting Minutemen are dangerous from deep, looking to avoid a third straight loss. It's Fordham and UMass next on WFUV. The final week of the regular season starts from the Rose Hill Gym. It's Fordham and UMass right here on WFUV Sports. Hi again, everybody. Nick DeLuca, Ryan Gregware, our entire WFUV Sports crew. So happy you could take some of your Monday night and spend it with us. Fordham makes the return home 9th in the Atlantic 10 at 13-14, 6-9 in conference, looking to secure a bye in the A10 tournament heading in to the final week of the season. Fordham really struggled offensively over the weekend against Davidson, looking to correct that tonight.
There's really not one stat you can point out from that game that is positive. Season low in assists with 21 turnovers in that one, just 12 total field goals in the game. That second half versus Davidson, Nick, it's fair to say it's the sloppiest that Fordham has played throughout the year.
Kyle Neptune said that team's trying to work through some things offensively, shake off what was a difficult outing over the weekend, and put their best foot forward heading in to the final week of the season. Coach, last time out, you take on Davidson and are held to a season-low 45 points with just 12 field goals. What sticks out to you about that effort on the offensive side of the floor?
I think they're just a really good team. And, you know, you saw their culture up close. And, you know, they struggled to score as well. They weren't shooting the ball well, but they just locked in defensively. And, you know, they had us out of sorts. We just couldn't score.
Over the last 5 games, Chuba Oham's averaging 17 and 12. You've talked a lot about how much he means to your group, but what is the continued emphasis on making sure that he is a significant part of what you're doing down the stretch in the final week of the season?
I mean, I think we've been consistent all year. He's been consistent all year, and he's always been a big part of what we do on and off the floor, and he'll continue to be so.
You take on UMass tonight, a team atop the A10 in three-point shooting. What makes them so dangerous offensively and from long range?
Oh, well, it's just attempts. You're shooting 33s a game. You know, you're bound to make some. So we're gonna try to limit their attempts and just try to lock into their personnel as much as possible and see where we fall.
Coach, appreciate the time. Good luck tonight.
Thank you.
The national anthem completed by the Fordham University Pep Band. After a moment of silence for standing with Ukraine in wake of the events that have occurred over the last week plus. Fordham back out onto the court looking to improve their offense. Fordham has missed significant production from their top scorer, Darius Quisenberry. Well, they get some back tonight.
And there's so much you can look into with how much they've missed him. Just 56 points per game without it. But Nick, the thing that I look at is the pressure he will take off the other guys, just bringing the ball up, commanding attention on offense, and allows other people to succeed when they have it in his absence.
It's not all about the offensive end of the floor. Of course, Fordham's bread and butter on the defensive end, matching up with the UMass team ranked third in the conference in scoring. That defense that they rely so heavily on will be tested again this evening. And
it's really scary because UMass, they can shoot into any game. They really can play out with anyone. You look at their win over St. Louis, 91-85. That's top-level A-10 competition. So despite, you look at their record, just 5-10 in the conference, with the way they can shoot, there's no team they can't beat when they're at their best.
UMass takes the floor tonight, tied for 10th in the Atlantic 10, 5-10 in conference. Seating on the line as they look to avoid the play-in portion of the Atlantic 10 tournament. This is an experienced Minutemen team that has 10 upperclassmen and added 6 transfers into the fold for head coach Matt McCall. They shoot the three as well as anyone in the country, 7th in the nation at 39% as a team, and 11th in the NCAA in three-pointers made, with 4 players shooting at least 36% from long range. When you talk about UMass's ability to hit threes, you won't get very far without mentioning Rich Kelly. The Boston College grad transfer leads the A-10, shooting 48% from downtown.
He's a fantastic spot-up shooter for them, and it goes beyond it because when you have 4 starters that are above 35%, it just opens up the court for all of them to succeed. So Fordham certainly has their work cut out for them in the three-point department.
Kelly, looking for a bounce-back game tonight, was held scoreless for a first time this season against VCU over the weekend. Noah Fernandez joins Kelly in the backcourt. The top scorer for the Minutemen opens things up for everyone else on the floor.
Yeah, just 5'11", Noah Fernandez. He's quick with the basketball. It allows him to kind of dish it on that driving kick. But make no mistake, he can score also 36% from 3, so he's someone that Fordham is definitely going to have their hands full with this afternoon.
Fernandez, top 20 in assists in the NCAA, has struggled a bit recently, just 6 points per game over his last 3. UMass is top 3 in the A-10 in offense, but dead last in the conference in defense. Opponents are scoring 78 points a game against the Minutemen, shooting 46 or better in each of the last 5, an area that Matt McCall says his team is really looking to improve.
And that's where you look at from the Fordham side. Having a Darius Quisenberry back is huge. VCU, offensively is not very, attentive there, just 253rd in the nation, but last time out, versus UMass, they shot 54% and 46% from 3. So if there's a game that where Fordham's going to get right offensively, it's against the Minutemen.
Kyle Neptune calling UMass a really dangerous team because of the way that they shoot the 3 with so many guys who can shoot it. They have a lot of ways to hurt you. And on the other side, for Matt McCall, coming off a game against VCU that wasn't pretty, they turned it over 22 times, a season high against the Rams. Need more movement, can't just stand around. Felt like we were distracted by their pressure. Sure, they will see some of it from Fordham tonight, trying to manage guys down the stretch, but need to do everything we can to win games with the goal of avoiding playing on Wednesday. Expect Fordham to bring the pressure defensively this evening.
That's really where they struggled versus VCU. McCall said they look like a fog, and Fordham, as we've known throughout the year, Nick, they love bringing the pressure, so a good matchup in that department for the Rams.
Trent Buttrick will start it with the tip along with Michael Stedman in the front court for UMass. Buttrick, the grad from Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, a Penn State transfer, UMass's top rebounder. Stedman, the senior from Union City, California, Montana, San Jose State. A couple of college stops for him. And then in the backcourt, as mentioned, Rich Kelly, Noah Fernandez, and TJ Weeks Jr., the redshirt sophomore, averaging 9 and 5 out of Warwick, Rhode Island. For Fordham, Darius Quisenberry will make his return off the bench tonight. Chuba Ohams, Kyle Rose, Josh Colon-Navarro, Antrell Charlton, and Abdou Simbila, the 5 to start it for the Rams in the home whites. The script Fordham in maroon across the chest. For UMass, the road crimson tops and bottoms to block Massachusetts in white on top of the white numbers, the white trim around the shoulders, and double white stripes on the side of the uniforms. Fordham looking to get back into the win column. Tied for 9th in the Atlantic 10. Ready to go at tip. It's Chuba Ohams winning it into the backcourt. Antrell Charlton controls. Fordham Next to last in the A-10 in scoring offense. Starts at first. Near corner three, the kick for Rose. Front rim off, long rebound right back to him. Right arc Charlton off the feed. Back heel and off. Ohams rips down the right block offensive board. A third possession to start it off tonight. Left arc Charlton wheeling left to the lane. Backing down on the defense. Stop A-10 stamp. Righty fall away hook. Front rim and off. And UMass with the underneath the basket rebound. Michael Stedman. Noah Fernandez into the front court, the junior, UMass's top scorer. 14 points per game is a top 20 mark in the Atlantic 10. Right of the lane, pushing off, Rose the defense, and an offensive foul. Fernandez has struggled recently, as mentioned, 6 points a game over his last three. Was shut out against Dayton back on Wednesday and is shooting just 23% in his last six.
And you see Stedman there trying to come with the screen, getting called for the foul. That is his game. He's fantastic on the pick and pop. So Fordham, good attention to that early.
No score a minute in. Fordham and UMass. Simbilla over the head possession. Up top, Charlton curling around right arc with 12 to shoot. Screen right, Simbilla. Stop A-10 stamp. Near corner kick, Cologne Navarro. Rims out on the three. Right block rebound. Ohams had it poked away. Goes back up, muscles through too strong. Simbilla on the follow, banks it in off the glass.
And you're seeing early on why this UMass team struggles so much defensively. 3 wide open threes for the Rams, unable to get them to fall, but getting the offensive rebound, getting the second chance, and Simbilla is able to get the pocket.
Fordham already with 4 offensive rebounds a minute and a half into this game. On top 2-0. Stop, left elbow Kelly. Stedman the righty floater from 5, in and out. The follow tip goes down. Michael Stedman averaging 8 and 4. Moving into the starting lineup tonight. Has been in double figures in 4 of 5, averaging 12 points a game in that span. Evens the score at 2 minutes in. Antrell Charlton, Ram portion of the logo. Scream right from Simbilla. Up top, Ohams, the float left block. Simbilla backing down on the defense from Stedman. Turns on the left block. Some contact as he slid toward the baseline, and a foul called on a push from Michael Stedman, who will pick up his first and the team's first.
And the game plan early on, attack him down low, whether it's Juba Ohams or Abdou Simbilla on him. They're looking to take it to the basket and score over Stedman.
Charlton, the right block float. Ohams, the one-handed catch, backing down. Buttrick, the defense, the righty jump hook. Off glass, rolls out, left block board for Michael Stedman. Rich Kelly into the front court. Defense from Rose. Stops left elbow, Stedman right arc with room. The three is good. Michael Stedman. Double figures in 4 of 5 and has the first 5 points for UMass tonight. 5-2 Minutemen, 2.5 minutes in.
And Stedman just 1 for 5 on the season from 3 before that one. He's the guy that Fordham's going to dare to shoot, and they're draining the bucket.
Straight on Cologne Navarro, left arc Antrell Charlton. Bounce near side Ohams, drawing the left block double team. With 12 to shoot, stop A-10 stamp Charlton. Extra pass, reverse layup, up and good from Abdou Simbilla. Running the baseline, the find by Charlton. Fordham within 1, 5-4, 3 minutes in. Fernandez, stop A-10 stamp, straight on Stedman, the three. In and out, left block board for Simbilla. Striding across the midline, Ohams off the flip. Shuba averaging 17 and 12 over his last 5 games. Has been a massive part of Fordham's offensive and defensive production. A foul going to UMass with Fernandez reaching to pry possession free. Kyle Rose along the near side. As Fernandez picks up his second early foul, UMass's top scorer. Not even 4 minutes into this game as too early.
Yeah, this could be a theme we talked about throughout this one. Fordham done a good job this year getting guys in foul trouble, and there's no one you'd rather get into that trouble than UMass's leading scorer. Straight
on Antrell Charlton, screen right Simbilla, works around it, stop free throw line, pull-up jumper, in and out, offensive foul regardless. And Fordham will turn possession over to UMass.
You look at the last game for Fordham, the 21 turnovers, a ton of those coming, when the offense is off-ball screens, stuff like that on the offensive end, taking charges the Wildcats did. So there, I know there's an early one early on, but that's something you figure they correct as we get into this game.
Abdou Simbilla, Josh Cologne Navarro will check out. Darius Quisenberry and Rastik Nowitzki. Quisenberry making his return off the bench to the Fordham lineup tonight. Buttrick right arc, defense from Ohams, curling around near side TJ Weeks Jr. The sophomore gives for Stedman, left elbow jumper, front rim, rolls around and off, free throw line Rebound batted for Rose. Rams into the front court, trailing by 1, 5-4. Kyle Rose, Ram portion of the logo. Float for Ohams, head of the key. Curling Charlton, stop A-10 stamp, poked away, out through the baseline. Last touch by Charlton. Garcia forcing the turnover.
And you look, obviously, Charlton has taken that role without Quisenberry as the point guard. The one thing he's done a good job of in this kind of stretch, just 6 total turnovers over the last 4 games, but 1 right there.
Fordham with the 22 turnovers. Last time out against Davidson, a couple early this evening. Rich Kelly left arc, defense from Nowitzki, striding, got his pass poked away, and loose possession claimed by Kyle Rose. Rams into the front court, trailing by 1, have started 2 of 8 from the field. Right baseline drive, Ohams underneath, rolled it off right rim. Buttrick, the right block board. Outlet near the side for Weeks Jr. Buttrick right arc, straight away for Garcia. Left arc, Rich Kelly, the leading 3-point shooter in the Atlantic 10. Garcia, as UMass probes the perimeter, near corner 3, in and out from Weeks. Right block board for Chuba Ohams. Fordham big man is 4 early in this first half. Ohams left baseline drive, flips it up, left it short, and the right block rebound for Buttrick. Weeks pushing into the front court, left to the lane drive, floats it up, it falls, plus the foul. TJ Weeks, averaging 9 and 5, has scored just 11 total points over the last 3 games, getting the bucket to fall. And Kyle Neptune looking for an explanation. They'll rule that the foul came on the floor. Kyle Neptune can't believe that there was a foul at all, so the score stays 5-4. With Weeks headed to the free throw line on the other side of this first timeout. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey, this is Sam Davis, broadcaster for Fordham Women's Basketball on WFUV Sports. Stay locked in all season long on the WFUV Sports Spreaker page, where you can find our live broadcasts as well as an archive of games played earlier in the year. We come on the air 10 minutes before game time, offer up the one-on-one pregame, halftime, and postgame reports, in addition to covering all the game action. The Rams women's basketball team is an exciting group in pursuit of another A10 championship. Join the action with WFUV Sports on Spreaker.
After a brief trip to the scorer's table, the officials returning back to the original call that the Weeks continuation would count. So a 7-4 UMass lead with 15:03 to go in the first half. Fordham has started just 2 of 10 from the field as the offensive struggles have continued. UMass at 3 for 7 to start it, and Fordham hoping to get a jolt of energy with Chuba Ohams and Darius Quisenberry paired with that offensive attack. So far, not so much.
Well, you have seen, though, UMass, they're going to get in the shots. Fordham has had these opportunities, missing a few open threes. OM's taken to the basket. He's 0 for 4 early, but you want the aggression to be there. And if you want OM's to keep shooting, don't be worried about what may be happening, because UMass is giving them shots. And if Fordham really wants to turn around this, we said it before, but this really is the game to do so.
Fordham down to 39% from the field on the season. That's last in the Atlantic 10. They've started 0 of 3 from 3, shooting at 30% on the year, also last in the A10. This UMass up-tempo offensive style on display. Minutemen 91st in the country in pace of play and are 8-3 on the season when cashing in more fast break points than their opponents, 3-9 when they lose that battle. Weeks nailing the free throw, 8-4 UMass, 5 minutes in first half. Left arc, Charlton, waist-high possession. Straight away, Quisenberry. Guarded by Stedman, left of the lane drive, scoop layup, blocked away. UMass the other way. Dominguez loose ball, finger roll with the left is left short, and Nowitzki trailing with the center of the paint rebound. Cologne Navarro pushing into the front court. Fordham trailing by 4. Straight on 3, Quisenberry. Back heel and off, right elbow rebound. For Charlton, left arc three, Cologne Navarro. He got it to fall. Josh Cologne Navarro on the feed was left open, and Fordham finally hitting a three and within one. Left of the lane drive, Garcia got it knocked away out through the baseline. Nice touch by Fordham. UMass in front 8-7, approaching 6 minutes into the first half.
And Cologne Navarro drilling the three there very quietly, 26% from beyond the arc over his last 7. He was a guy early in the year, was a consistent go-to guy from beyond the arc. So for him to get going, last stretch of his career, that could be a great end for him.
Garcia straightaway Dominguez, the sophomore from Providence, Rhode Island. Float left baseline, Buttrick straight on Kelly, tries the long three. Left rim and off. Kelly battling for the left block rebound. Batted through the baseline. And UMass will keep possession with 20 on the shot clock. 6 minutes in to the first half. Rich Kelly has all kinds of range and extending to the block F portion of the logo that time.
And I know he is leading this conference in three-point percentage, but you get the feeling that Fordham is okay with taking that really deep through, and there's a ton of time on the shot clock.
Miscommunication on the float by Kelly. Charlton intercepts. Euro step. Left it short. Kelly the follow on the twisting lay-in attempt. Left it short. The pass near side for Nowitzki, who didn't cut. Out through the sideline, and it's a Fordham turnover.
Fordham playing very fast that possession, having a few chances under the rim. Pat Kelly unable to finish despite not a ton of contact there. Those are the chances when you get free possessions. When your offense has been this bad as of late, you need to capitalize on.
Fordham pushing, looking for some of those easy buckets. UMass with that fast pace as well. A team that wants to push the basketball up the floor, not defending all that well on the season. And in front by one, 8-7, approaching the 6.5 minute in mark of the first half. Dominguez over the head possession. Roaming right arc, Weeks Jr. Defense from Charlton. Far corner kick, extra pass, straight on. Near side for Greg Jones. Pump fake Weeks, right elbow possession. Left arc three, Garcia. Front rim and off. Weeks the follow, rolls it in. From the right block, it's TJ Weeks Jr. Who's got 5 points in his first half. UMass in front by 3, 10-7, 7 minutes in. Curling around, Josh Cologne Navarro. Left arc, Kyle Rose. The feed for Quisenberry over the head possession. Guarded by Garcia. Bounce near block with 10 to shoot. Right arc, Cologne Navarro shot fake. With 8 on the shot clock and 7 going to work. The yo-yo dribble, right baseline with 4. Ohams with 3. The bounce with 2. And a shot clock violation. Fordham without enough urgency trying to get a shot away. They're scoreless in the last 95 seconds.
And the second OM's got the ball there. A swarm of Minutemen, 4 guys in the area. The way Fordham's been shooting, you get the feeling, Nick, that their game plan is going to be take away OMs and let the guys who haven't been making shots beat you.
Fordham has started 3 of 15 from the field. Right arc 3, Weeks Jr. left rim and off. Battle for the left block board. Pulled away by Darius Quisenberry. Quisenberry, right elbow, stop for Charlton, straight away, gets possession back. Ram portion of the logo with 15 on the shot clock. Float, left elbow for Ohams, back to the basket, working on Greg Jones. Righty readjustment, backed in off the glass. Chuba Ohams aggressive to the basket as his first points tonight, 1 of 5 from the field, and Fordham within 1, 10-9 UMass, 8 minutes in.
When Fordham has the chance to get Chuba Ohams in 1-and-1, you want him taking it to the basket like he did there.
Garcia left arc, working on Oham. Stop at the A-10 stamp. The lunge with 10 to shoot. Over the head possession for C.J. Kelly. The junior backing down Cologne Navarro. Near side 3. In's good. DeAndre Dominguez gets the bubble to roll in. The sophomore averaging 3 and 2 off the bench has seen an increased role. And UMass extends the lead to 4, 13-9. 11.5 minutes remaining first half. Straight on Chuba Oham, stop restricted area, lefty leaner goes down. Oham's attacking inside, UMass without an answer. And Oham's with 4 points. As Fordham within 2, 9 minutes in first half. Right arc Weeks going to work on Rose, stop A-10 stamp, juggled possession. Ripped away Kelly, near side pass, Garcia the 3. Front rim and off, right elbow rebound for Josh Cologne Navarro. Pedaling into the front court, the right of the lane drive, the scoop layup, blocked away. UMass into the front court. Weeks the bounce, kicked away by Charlton to the near side. A kickball keeps possession with UMass. 10:56 to go in the first half, and that will send us to another timeout. UMass 13, Fordham 11. The Rams struggling to get anything going offensively. Just 5 of 18 to start it tonight. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports. Back to our Rose Hill studios. A one-on-one scoreboard with Keenan Troy.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Starting things off in the world of college basketball, UNC and Syracuse are facing off in Chapel Hill tonight, with the Orange leading the Tar Heels 22-20. Later on tonight, number 3 Baylor and number 23 Texas will face off in a battle of 2 top 25 teams. Tip-off is scheduled for 9 p.m. Moving over to the NBA, the Cavs and Timberwolves are underway, with the Cavs up big early, 15-4. The 2 top teams in the East are facing off in a couple minutes as well. The Bulls will head down to Miami to face off against the Heat. The Nets and Raptors are playing at the Barclays Center tonight, and that one is scheduled to tip off in just a few minutes. New York City Mayor Eric Adams released a statement saying that he would love to see Kyrie Irving play, but will not make an exception for the Nets star, saying it would send the wrong message just to have an exception for one player when we're telling countless numbers of New York City employees that if you don't follow the rules, you will not be able to be employed. In the world of baseball, Derek Jeter has stepped down as Marlins CEO and shareholder earlier this morning, saying the vision for the future of the franchise is different than the one I signed up to lead. Today is also the deadline for a new collective bargaining agreement to be reached to avoid the cancellation of any games this year. There is no news yet, but it appears baseball will not be starting on time this year. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Danny Scott.
Thanks, Danny. UMass 13, Fordham 11. 10:56 on the first half clock. And Fordham, who has started just 5 of 18 from the field, a credit to them. They're still well in this one despite the continued struggles on offense.
Team of the year for this team, right? They shoot it poor early. They allow their energy to keep them in the game. And when they're successful, it comes down to, do they make big shots? Do they get it going from beyond the arc? We're yet to see in this one. The one thing you have to keep wary of is do not try to play UMass style of basketball, because they're going to shoot a ton of threes and they're going to make them at an efficient rate. Well, that's not what Fordham does. They get ugly. They grind you out. So the last 2 possessions, you saw Josh Navarro pushing it in transition over a few guys. That's not what Fordham's done well this year, and that's not how they're going to be successful with tonight.
On the flip side, an encouraging sign for Fordham defensively. For UMass, who shoots the 3 so well, they've started just 2 of 8.
Yeah, and Fordham's done a good job, forcing and daring the non-shooters to take shots. That's what we figured they would do. It's what they've done all season long. But UMass, they're not going to back away. They're going to keep taking the threes. So it is up to Fordham on the offensive end to get things going.
C.J. Kelly will inbound from the near side. Quisenberry, Charlton, Rose, Zach Riley, and Chuba Ohams, the 5 on the floor out of the timeout for Kyle Neptune. With Fordham trailing by 2, 13-11. Straight on Kelly, the junior, left of the lane drive, working on Riley. Flips it up with the right, scoops it in. C.J. Kelly averaging 11 and 5, one of 4 UMass starters shooting over 36% from 3. Doing it on the interior that time, and the Minutemen by 4, 15-11 at the 10.5-minute mark of the first half. Charlton straight away, left arc Rose, shot fake, head of the key Charlton. Bounce right block, Ohams with 10 to shoot, jump stop Riley, the kick out, left baseline drive with 6, scoop layup, left short, right rim, out through the baseline. Last touch by Fordham, UMass will inbound.
And a nice move there by Zach Riley, just unable to get the finish. You look at him last time out, 0 for 3 from the field, at a crucial turnover for getting the shot clock. But as the season has gone on, he's earned more of Coach Neptune's trust.
Bigger part of the rotation recently, 4 straight games, double-digit minutes, near corner 3, off right rim from Santos, the junior. Gets it back, offensive board, right baseline drive, bowling over Ohams on the interior, and it's an offensive foul. Santos putting his head down, and Ohams hitting the deck, drawing the foul. It's UMass's 4th. Santos picking up his first.
And OM's always willing to put his body on the line. He's more than just getting rebounds. He's more than just a post player. The energy he has is infectious. It's one of the reasons he's been called the heart and soul of this team.
Midway mark, first half, UMass 15, Fordham 11. Josh Colon-Navarro strolling across the midline stripe. Quisenberry at the right elbow, pull-up jumper. Back heel and off, left block rebound for Greg Jones. Junior from the Bronx, pushing into the front court. Garcia, pull-up jumper from the free throw line, in and out. Left block offensive board for UMass. They'll set up another possession. Far arc three, Santos back heel and off, batted around the rebound, and a right elbow loose ball taken by Antrell Charlton. Charlton headed the key stop, left of the lane drive, flips it up, and gets it to go. Antrell Charlton attacking the basket. Fordham trails by 2, 15-13, 9 minutes to go first half.
And throughout the year when he's been at its best, it's been attacking the basket. You look at that St. Bonaventure game that he broke out. He took it inside. It's something we haven't seen throughout the year, but he's done it more of late. Near
corner three, Santos, right rim and off, and the far sideline rebound for Kyle Rose. Right arc, Quisenberry attacking, jump stop, the bounce near side for Charlton. Stop Colon-Navarro at the free throw line. Quisenberry straight on three. Misses everything. Right block loose ball for Greg Jones. Fordham shooting just 6 of 22 in the opening half. Santos near side for Garcia, right arc. The float block F portion of the logo. Jones looking for a handoff partner. Floats for CJ Kelly. Guarded by Charlton with 10 to shoot. Left baseline drive. Bounce to a cutting Santos. Kelly gets it back, near side three. Left rim and off. Soar for the left block offensive board, Dominguez. Jones steps into the three. Hits good. DeAndre Dominguez, the feed, and Greg Jones hits the shot. Straightaway three, and UMass leads by 5, 18-13, 7:50 to go first half.
One of the things that Matt McCall talked about, after that loss was he didn't think his team brought enough energy, was going to go deeper into the rotation. Well, early in this one, 12 minutes in, he's already on 10 deep, showing his willingness right there.
Left baseline drive, Ohams left it short. The stuff and the basketball bouncing around out through the baseline. UMass touched it last. Fordham possession on the other side of this timeout. Fordham scoreless in 95 seconds, have started just 6 of 23 from the field. And Weeks and Stedman pacing UMass's offense to a 5-point first half lead. 7:36 to go in the opening half. UMass 18, Fordham 13. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Keenan Troy here
with Nick Guzman,
and we're responsible for keeping everyone in the loop with the world of soccer, breaking it down weekly on FUVFC.
From the international stage to the domestic leagues, myself and Keenan focus on key storylines, the week's biggest matchups, and everything that the beautiful game has to offer.
Maddie B. Monte, Michael Hernandez, and James Burley also lend a hand as we keep our finger on the pulse of the United States men's national team, as well as the build-up to the 2022 Qatar World Cup. You don't want to miss it.
FUVFC is a production of WFUV Sports.
Back here from the Rose Hill Gym, UMass in front by 5, 18-13, 7:36 remaining in the opening half. Fordham, the struggles on offense continuing. UMass shooting it at 32%, up over 42% on the season. So Fordham getting things done on the defensive end of the floor, but it's the same old drum that we're beating, but it's true. They're going to have to find some way to get the offense going.
And it's hard to keep going back to the well, but that's been the story. And UMass can play this game, shooting threes at this clip because they have the guys, look at the percentages, that when it comes around, they will make the shots. But Fordham doesn't. They've struggled so much beyond the arc this year, so you have to keep this one in check before UMass gets hot.
Chuba Ohams and Abdu Simbila, the top two scorers for Fordham in the opening 12 minutes of the first half. 8 apiece. Colon-Navarro with 3, Charlton with 2. And Darius Quisenberry, making his return off the bench tonight, has begun 0 of 4 out of the timeout. Kelly, Kyle Rose, Chuba Ohams, Josh Colon-Navarro, and Abdul Simbila for Kyle Neptune. Playing against a UMass team tied for 10th in the Atlantic 10 and looking to avoid the play-in game on Wednesday. Would need a strong week, tied with URI coming into tonight. Left arc Rose with 2 to shoot. Colon-Navarro straight on the 3 is fouled as it falls at the free throw line. Garcia with the hard closeout, and Josh Colon-Navarro, who would have had to hoist a prayer of a shot from the ram portion of the logo around 26 or 27 feet, is fouled, and a 90+% free throw shooter with a chance to get Fordham within 2.
And it clearly was a foul, so not to say it was a break, but a huge opportunity for Fordham. Leading with the body was Garcia, and Josh Colon-Navarro 35 for 40 on the year from the free throw line. He's 100% the guy you wanting to take 3 shots, and he's already hit the first 2.
Colon-Navarro been up and down recently over his last 6, has 3 games with 15+ and 3 with 6 or fewer. Had 6 on 1 of 9 from the field in the loss over the weekend to Davidson. Has 3 on the board, perfect from the free throw line. Fordham within 2, 18-16 UMass, 7:20 and ticking in the first half. C.J. Kelly, right arc, defended by Ohams. The crossover dribble, Kelly attacking Ohams, is far corner kick out intercepted. Fordham across the midline. Josh Colon-Navarro, screen right, Simbila, straight on long 2, back heeling off. Kelly couldn't corral the long rebound. Colon-Navarro diving onto the floor, slides onto the baseline along the far side, and Fordham, with great effort from Colon-Navarro, he couldn't save it. UMass possession.
Even though that'll go to the Minutemen, that's exactly what you want to see if you're Fordham. Bodies on the ground, diving after the ball after it looked like he had no chance at it, just to get an effort on it. Perhaps that can spark this team and rile them up.
18-16 UMass, 6:55 and ticking first half. Rich Kelly, left elbow, left arc 3, Dominguez. Back heel and off, right block rebound for Abdul Simbila. Shovel for Josh Colon-Navarro. Fordham 6 of 24 from the field tonight to start it. Near corner 3, Kelly knocks it down. Pat Kelly, the catch and shoot, feed from Colon-Navarro. Fordham takes the lead, 19-18, 6.5 minutes in to the first half. The twisting attack of the basket from Kelly was contacted underneath the bucket, and C.J. Kelly, the junior, will head to the free throw line after the shot attempt was denied. Simbila picks up his second foul. Fordham with their 4th.
And Fordham taking the lead in this one, holding UMass to 1 for their last 7 from 3. It did allow their offense to wake up just a bit. Pat Kelly draining the 3 on the other end.
Kelly hits the first, tied at 19. 6.5 minutes remaining first half. Michael Stedman will check back in for UMass. Kelly a couple of bounces. His second free throw bubbles in. C.J. Kelly trying to find some consistency of his own. Has 4 first half points, and UMass in front by 1. 2019, 6:20 to go first half. Josh Colon-Navarro floats ram portion of the logo. Oham striding left of the lane drive. Lefty finish in off the glass. Juba Oham's going right at Trent Buttrick and putting Fordham back in front by 1. 21-20, 6 minutes remaining first half. Left elbow pull up. Kelly rolls in. Rich Kelly, guy who was held scoreless last time out against VCU and shooting just 23% from the field in his last 6, has his first points tonight. UMass in front by 1, 22-21, 5:40 to go in the first half. Near corner 3, Nowitzki. It's good. The ball movement on the perimeter. Nowitzki nails the 3. Fordham by 2, 24-22, 5.5 minutes to go first half.
And UMass living with that shot, doubling Chuba Ohams, leaving the other big open from 3, and he makes them pay.
Rich Kelly straight on, stop at the free throw line, hounded by Colon-Navarro, fall away from 7, pure. Rich Kelly, points on back-to-back possessions, 4 points in the first half, and UMass knots it at 24, 5 minutes to go first half. Cologne Navarro, stop at the elbow, right arc three, Kelly. Right rim and off. Nowitzki, the offensive board, right block. Stops on the right arc, thought about the three, pulls it down with 15 to shoot. Bounce for Ohams. Attacking Buttrick, left of the lane drive, stop, kick out. Kelly the three. Is good. Pat Kelly from the near corner has a pair of threes in this first half, and Fordham in front by 3, 27-24, 4:40 to go first half. Left of the lane drive, Kelly attacking, shoved, Rose the defense, and a foul called before he could get the pass away. Kyle Rose looking to wall off the top three-point shooter in the Atlantic 10. First for Rose, Fordham's fifth.
And last game out, something we haven't mentioned, one of the other reasons Fordham really struggled, a ton of foul trouble for them. Their second highest total in personal fouls on the year. 6 players with 3+. Early on, they've done a good job at limiting the whistle.
Fordham 3 for their last 4 from 3 after struggling so mightily to open things up. Backing down left block. It's Stedman flipping it up, and it falls in. Kyle Neptune looking for an offensive foul. Could not believe that there was no call. Doesn't get it. UMass trails by 1. Fordham 27, UMass 26. 4 minutes remaining first half. Straight on Rose, ran portion of the logo with 14 to shoot. Roaming left. Defense from Weeks, the near side double team. Bounce for Nowitzki, straight on. Jab step with 7 to shoot. Left of the lane drive, attacking, stop left elbow. And a foul called underneath. Stedman, who thought travel should have been called on Nowitzki, will pick up the personal, looking to pry possession free and send us to another timeout. Fordham surging in front with a couple of threes from Pat Kelly. The Rams by 1, 27-26, 3:57 remaining first half. Back to our Rose Hill studios, a one-on-one scoreboard with Danny Scott.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
In the world of college basketball, North Carolina and Syracuse are locked in a battle at Chapel Hill, with the Orange ahead of the Tar Heels by 2 to 28-26. Later on tonight, number 3 Baylor and number 23 Texas will face off in a battle of 2 top 25 teams. Tip-off is scheduled for 9 p.m. in that one. In the A-10, there are not any games tonight. However, there are a couple of great matchups tomorrow, with Dayton traveling to Richmond and St. Bonaventure traveling to VCU. In the NBA, the Heat and the Bulls will be facing off in just a few minutes, and the Nets and Raptors will be tipping off in the Barclays Center very soon as well. New York City Mayor Eric Adams released a statement saying that he would love to see Kyrie Irving play, but will not make an exception for the Nets star. Over on the ice, the Devils and Canucks are just about to drop the puck, and Maple Leafs and Capitals as well. In the world of baseball, Derek Jeter has stepped down as Marlins CEO and shareholder earlier this morning, saying the vision for the future of the franchise is different than the one I signed up to lead. Today is also the deadline for a new collective bargaining agreement to be signed to avoid any cancellation of games this year. There is not any news quite yet, but it appears that baseball will not be starting on time this year. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Danny Scott.
Thanks, Danny. Nick DeLuca, Ryan Gregware from the Rose Hill Gym. 3 quarters filled with a packed student section to the left of the Block F logo, with the Rams to the left at midcourt. Wood finish surrounded by the maroon seats. Fordham looking to bounce back from a tough loss over the weekend against Davidson, and after a rough start shooting the basketball, they've hit 3 of their last 4 from downtown.
Yeah, it turns out making your threes is probably going to give you the best chance to win, which this team hadn't been doing, but now up to 40% from the game. Pat Kelly draining a pair. He had a 7-game stretch where he hit a 3 that was broke last time out versus Davidson, so Fordham now able to take this lead thanks to the 3-ball.
It's a fair point. Make your threes, and that'll help you out. Right at the goal, inbound for Antrell Charlton, near side for Rastik Nowitzki. Backing down on the defense from Dominguez to the elbow, flips it up with the left, and it goes. Rastik Nowitzki aggressive to the goal, backing down Dominguez for the 2. Nowitzki with 5 first half points, and Fordham leads by 3. Straight on Dominguez, an answer. In and out. Weeks the battle for the underneath the basket rebound. Last touch by Nowitzki out through the baseline. Fordham leading it by 3, 29-26, 3:34 on the first half clock. UMass will inbound left of the goal.
Nowitzki all over the court in this one, draining a three, driving to the basket. His play as of late has improved a ton. It hadn't shown up in the stat column until tonight.
UMass's leading scorer, Noah Fernandez, has returned for the final 3.5 minutes of this opening half. Dominguez, the lefty floater, too strong. An air ball out through the baseline. Last touched by UMass on the battle for the loose ball. Fordham possession. Fernandez has played just 3 minutes in this opening half. Had the 2 fouls in the first 2 minutes.
And ill-advised shots like those are ones Fordham's going to try to force them to take. When UMass has been rattled throughout the air, they start taking ill-advised shots, so that's what Fordham's going to try to find in their defense.
Left of the lane drive, backing down Charlton. His shoulder sending Weeks to the floor, and it's an offensive foul. Antrell Charlton picks up his first, Fordham 6th of the first half. 3:19 remaining. Fordham in front by 3. UMass into the front court. Rich Kelly, block F portion of the logo, shadowed by Quisenberry. Hesitation dribble. Curling Fernandez, guarded by Rose. Back to the basket with 15 to shoot. Attacking left of the lane, stop right elbow. Possession knocked free. His flip near side. Dominguez the 3. Front rim and off. Straight on rebound for Antrell Charlton. Outlet into the front court. Fordham. Left arc for Kyle Rose. Right arc Quisenberry's 3. Too strong, and the left block rebound for Dominguez. Darius Quisenberry looking to shake off some rust. Has started 0 of 5 from the field. Kelly backing down on the right baseline. The catch and the curl from Dominguez. Stop A-10 stamp. His kick out deflected and taken by Quisenberry. The spin into the front court. Shovel for Oham's. Jump stop restricted area. Muscling his flip up. Off front rim and short. And the right block rebound for TJ Weeks. UMass near side. Right baseline Dominguez. Stops with 2:12 remaining first half. Fordham by 3, 29-26. Bunchrick right of the lane surge. Dominguez right arc 3. It's good. DeAndre Dominguez, guy who averages just 3 points a game on the season, has 6 in this opening half, and this game's tied 29 all in the final 2 minutes of the first half. Nowitzki backing down. Lefty sky hook is pure. Rastik Nowitzki. He's got 7 first half points and Fordham by 2, 1:40 to go first half.
How about the aggression of Nowitzki taking it to the basket with ease?
Right of the lane, Dominguez, the bounce, righty runner, Kelly all net. Rich Kelly off the feed from Dominguez to 7 first half points, and this one's tied at 31, final 1:20 to go in the opening half. After 2 tough shooting starts, UMass up to 39% from the field, Fordham to 36. Darius Quisenberry roaming right, the pull-up, long 2, in and out, straight on rebound. Ohams looking to go up, muscles through contact and lays it in with the right. Chuba Ohams a force down low, 8 first half points, and it's another offensive rebound for the big man. Fordham by 2. Fernandez straight on, the 3 Dominguez. Front rim and off. Nowitzki battling for the right block board, shoving away Weeks, and a foul on the loose ball. Charged to Rastik Nowitzki. It's Fordham's 7th. And we'll send Weeks to the free throw line. Fordham in front by 2, 33-31. 47.4 seconds remaining in the first half.
Dominguez missing the shot there. He's one of those guys that Fordham's identified. They're going to dare him to shoot. 2 for 8 in this one. All of them have been pretty wide open, so he's going to have to prove to Fordham they should put a man on him.
Weeks will head to the free throw line with Fordham in front by 2. How about Rastik Nowitzki with 7 points in this first half?
Yeah, surprising. If you told us, Fordham's second leading scorer is Rastik Nowitzki, you wouldn't think the score would be it the way it is, but he's played phenomenal basketball in his time on the court.
Front end of the 1-and-1. Weeks hits the free throw. Nowitzki playing with a heavy heart tonight. Guy who comes from Ukraine. His family is currently in the Czech Republic, but Nowitzki paying a lot of attention, obviously, to the events going on in his native country. Has a number of friends and guys we grew up playing basketball with in that area. And the thoughts with him for Fordham donning the Ukraine patch tonight. Quisenberry surging to the goal, scoring with the right. Charlton the intercept, can't get it to go. Quisenberry the follow. Just like that, 4 first-half points for Darius Quisenberry, and Fordham a 4-point lead, 37-33 in the final 28 seconds of the first half. The Rams getting it going, the defensive activity, and Darius Quisenberry making his presence felt in the return to the Rose Hill Gym. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Fordham men's basketball will be back in action Wednesday, March 2nd, when they travel to Amherst to face off against these UMass Minutemen. We will be with you starting with the one-on-one pregame report at 6:50 p.m. before the 7 p.m. tip-off, right here on 90.7 FM and YouTube.
Be sure to tune in for that one. Also, the one-on-one halftime report with Keena Troy, Danny Scott back in our Rose Hill studios to recap the opening half as Fordham looks for a bounce-back victory down the stretch into the final week. And this too will get to all the craziness in the Atlantic 10. Fordham looking for a bye out of the Wednesday opener of the Atlantic 10 tournament for just the 4th time since joining the A10. Rams by 4, 37-33. Shot clock turned off. UMass into the front court. Noah Fernandez, right arc, playing with the foul trouble, yet to score in the first half. Block F portion of the logo with 10 to shoot. Defended by Cologne Navarro. Fernandez, the give and go, right arc 3 is good. Noah Fernandez hits the 3, half-court heave. Rose gets it to go. We'll see if it counts. Did he get it off in time? Kyle Rose on the outlet just hit a half-court shot. Striding across the midline, the rainbow heave. And Kyle Rose at the buzzer. We'll have to check if it counts. Fordham would be up by 4. At the moment, a 37-36 lead. And what a string of events. The long 3 by Fernandez, and now to see if it counts for Rose. The 3 is good, and Kyle Rose ending the first half with a flurry. From half court, Rose puts Fordham in front by 4. 40-36. What a shot. As Rose gives the Rams the extended lead. Chuba Ohams with 8 points to pace Fordham in scoring in the opening half. Josh Cologne Navarro with 6, Abdou Sabilla with 4, and Darius Quisenberry with 4 in the opening 20 minutes. In his return, TJ Weeks and Stedman with 7 to lead UMass. Dominguez with 6, with Fordham in front by 4 at the break. 40-36. Back to our Rose Hill studios for the one-on-one halftime report.
The one-on-one halftime report.
Welcome to the one-on-one halftime report here live in the Rose Hill studio. At the half, it is the Fordham Rams leading the UMass Minutemen 40-36. Before we break down all the crazy first half action, let's send it to Danny Scott, who has another scoreboard update.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Starting things off in the world of college hoops, UNC and Syracuse are locked in a battle at Chapel Hill, with the Tar Heels taking a 3-point lead to move the score to 37-34 with about a minute left in the first half. Later on tonight, a top 25 matchup between number 3 Baylor and number 23 Texas. That game is scheduled to tip off at 9 p.m. Moving over to the NBA, the 2 top teams in the East are facing off in Miami, with the Bulls and Heat tied at 6 early on. The Nets and Raptors are playing at the Barclays Center, with the Raptors up by 2, 5-7, just a couple minutes into that one. New York City Mayor Eric Adams released a statement saying he would love to see Kyrie Irving play, but will not make an exception for the Nets star, saying it would send the wrong message to have an exception for just one player when we're telling countless of New York City employees, if you don't follow the rules, you will not be employed. Over on the ice, the Devils and Canucks just dropped the puck at the Prudential Center with no score yet in that one. The Maple Leafs and the Capitals are also locked at 0 early on. In the world of baseball, Derek Jeter has stepped down as Marlins CEO and shareholder earlier this afternoon, saying the vision of the future of the franchise is different than the one I signed up to lead. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I am Danny Scott.
Thank you, Danny. Back here in the Rose Hill Studios with the one-on-one halftime report. I'm Keenan Troy. Danny Scott, who just delivered that phenomenal update, is sitting alongside me. And Danny, what a first half we had. That Kyle Rose half-court heave. Really the icing on the cake, which was an emphatic three-point shooting half for the Fordham Rams. We remember that game against Davidson over the weekend, even though we'd like to forget it. Fordham shooting 13.3% behind the arc, only three points made in the first half. Second half, they go 1 for 15, total for 4 for 30 on the day. Coming into this one, we saw at the start of the half, Danny, Fordham struggling to put the ball in the net, especially from three-point land. Then they go 5 for 7, and then Kyle Rose hits the half-court shot. This team is a team that loves to shoot threes, and when it's effective, they hang in games. And when it's not effective, they tend to lose their footing, especially when Chuba can't be dominant down low. Not that he hasn't been dominant down low this game, but the 3-point shots are falling for the Rams. And, that Kyle Rose half-court heave just kind of proved that this was a half that really reversed their fate from what we saw on Saturday.
Yeah, and one player that I wanted to bring up early on was getting back Darius Quisenberry. He was the heart and soul of the Fordham offense early on this season. However, starting tonight, 0 for 3 from three-point land, but you're getting production out of some guys that maybe you're not used to getting production out of from behind the arc. Patrick Kelly, 2 for 3 already in this one, and the big man, Rostik Nowitzki, dropping one in from deep. That was a great shot. And then, like you mentioned multiple times before, Kyle Rose, half-court heave to end the first half, put the Rams up by 4. That was a big shot. And, the Rams, when they can get buckets from deep, and this is typically, I think Ryan Gregware made a joke out of it earlier on the broadcast, but if you hit your threes, it's going to help you win games. And as of right now, the Rams are hitting their threes at a greater rate than normal. So it appears to me that the Rams are in a very prime position to win this one.
Yeah, you look at the A10 and UMass is up there, realistically 1,000th of a percentage point away from being top in the A10 for field goal percentage, shooting, above a .38 clip. This game, it's not looking well for the Minutemen, and it's not that they're having contested threes. There's a lot of open looks for the Minutemen shooters who typically like to pour it on from deep, only shooting 26.3%. Fordham at a 41.7%, way above what we'd expect out of the Rams in all the best ways. So, Dan, I'm just wondering, as the second half comes, can we expect the Rams to continue pouring it on at this efficiency? Certainly not if we've looked at the season trend, but in a night where Kyle Rose is making half-court heaves at the buzzer, I think anything might be good from beyond the arc.
It's hard. It's really hard to say. However, the one thing that really excites me is after that Kyle Rose bomb, we're going to see these guys come out fired up in the second half. They're going to be pumped up. They just took a 4-point lead. Kyle Rose maybe just hit the shot of the year for the Rams so far. We haven't seen many buzzer beaters or many crazy plays, but when you drop a shot in from beyond the half-point line, half-court line, when you drop a shot in from behind that half-court line, you're going to get the crowd, everyone in there has got to be excited. The student section looks packed in this one. If you're Fordham, you have to be really excited, and you have to keep this momentum going into the second half. If they can play a second half similar to the end of that first half, they should have no problem closing this one out.
Yeah, Fordham really came alive in the second half of that first half, Dan. But if there's one constant in this Fordham Rams offense, it's Chuba Ohams. 8 points from the center. He's got 6 rebounds. Probably most importantly, 4 on the offensive side. An assist to go along with it. When we see Chuba just being Chuba, I guess is the best way to put it, because let's not jinx it, but he's probably on track to another double-double. He is a walking double-double machine. We look back at that Davidson game, and probably the only good thing that came out of it was Chuba shows that even against the toughest teams in the A-10, he's still capable of getting double-doubles. But what was really impressive for me is, Chuba got hot early, and he was immediately drawing the double, and you talked about, Nowitzki and Kelly hitting big threes for the Rams, especially as bigs. I think that's a part of Chuba's game that we've really wanted to see grow. And, he's definitely not only drawing the double teams, but he's getting his head up and looking to dish the rock and trying to find the open Rams, which we've talked about, those three-pointers that the Rams have been pouring on. A lot of those have been because of either an offensive rebound underneath or a Chuba double that he kicks out.
One thing that Chuba Oham's getting double-teamed, and like you mentioned, we've been seeing it the entire first half, the wealth is being spread around quite a bit. The only player that has played for the Rams so far that has not recorded a point is Zach Riley, but he was just in for a couple minutes. You got Abdou Simbila, who started the game off 2 for 2. We haven't seen him take a shot yet. Maybe it's time for Simbila to start to get going in the second half. He did collect 2 fouls in the first half, however. The second half is when we've seen him come alive most recently. Charlton, only 2 points, however. We like to call it the triple nickel from Antrell Charlton. It's already got 3 rebounds, 3 assists, and 2 steals early on in this one. Cologne Navarro, 6 points. Kyle Rose, 3 points. Pat Kelly, 6 points. Rostik Nowitzki, 7 points. And getting 4 points from Quisenberry in the first half in his returning game. The wealth is just being spread at a rate that's maybe not normal for the Rams. We've seen when Quisenberry and Chuba are in there, they're really led by those two. And right now, since Quisenberry has been gone, they've had to rely on other guys. And I really like what I've seen out of the Rams in this first half, where they're, okay, you know what, Josh, it's your turn to get a bucket. Okay, Kyle, it's your turn to get a bucket. Okay, Pat Kelly, it's your turn to get a bucket. They're spreading the wealth around very, very nice in this first half.
Yeah, and Darius Quisenberry has 4 points in his first half of returning to action since that St. Bonaventure game where he was injured. And, those points were off, back-to-back plays, a fast break layup, and then an Antrell Charlton steal that's dished right back to Darius, and he goes up and finishes at the rack. And what I was really looking forward to this game, Danny, I'll be honest, because, that Davidson game is obviously one that's ugly to look, and it's even uglier when you look at the box score, if we're going to be honest, because it was Chuba and everyone else. And Chuba wasn't getting help in terms of the point department. He led the way with 15. And then when you don't have a guy like Darius Quisenberry, who's your go-to, guard scorer, you need somebody to step up. And I think in Darius's absence, we saw, everyone chipping in their own way. But in that Davidson loss, the next highest point scorer was Kyle Rose with 6, and then, Josh Cologne Navarro had 6, and Antrell Charlton had 6. And when you don't have a guy like Darius Quisenberry, 6 points from your second leading scorer just simply isn't going to cut it. And then today you look, Chuba's obviously leading the way again, surprise, surprise, with 8. But then Nowitzki's got 7. Pat Kelly hits 2-3. He's up to 6. Josh Cologne Navarro's at 6, and then some guys are mixed in amongst the rest of them. Still got a whole second half of basketball left. But as you said, Danny, spreading the wealth, and when, you've got Chuba clicking, and you have guys that aren't named Ohams and that aren't named Quisenberry because he's still coming back from that injury, that are getting up there in the higher point totals, it takes a lot of pressure off Chuba to go and get the baskets when they really count.
Yeah, and Chuba, yes, he is leading Fordham in this one. However, he hasn't been his most efficient play that I've seen from him. He's only shooting 40% from the field, and he's a guy that you typically like to see 60+. He's a big man. He's going to bang in the paint. He's going to get you some easy layups. However, like we have already mentioned, he is being closed in on at a rapid rate. He is obviously the guy that if you're an opposing coach, you're going to come in and you're going to say, okay, if there's one person who's not going to beat us, it's going to be Chuba. However, he already has 8 points, 6 rebounds. He's just doing his thing. Let's say he's on pace for 16 and 12 if he were to match a second half. That's still a great game from Ohams. However, I would like to see maybe another guy. Maybe Quisenberry starts to step up a little bit in the second half. Maybe we see some glimpses of where he was before. Maybe we see Charlton start to go off. Maybe we see Cologne Navarro hit a couple of big threes like he was in the absence of Quisenberry. And another guy that I would like to see maybe get some more touches is Abdou Simbila. He started off the game 2 for 2, had the Rams' first 4 points, and we haven't seen him shoot a shot since.
Yeah, and with Abdou in foul trouble, hopefully he gets a bit longer of a leash in this second half, especially with the way Nowitzki and Kelly have played in that first half. Big second half coming up here for the Rams as they look to close out the Minutemen at home before going on the road. right away backed up to Amherst to take on UMass at home, and a little home and home between the two sides. That's going to do it for our time in studio. This has been the one-on-one halftime report. Sending it back across the street to the Rose Hill Gymnasium to Nick DeLuca and Ryan Gregware, who have the second half call.
Hi, I'm Michael Calamari, reminding you to tune into New York's longest-running sports call-in show, One-on-One. Catch all the breaking sports news, hot takes, inside scoops from our beat reporters, and interviews with people around the world of sports. One-on-One airs every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. on YouTube Live, and once again at night from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. on 90.7 FM. Want more One-on-One? Catch our Wednesday edition of the show, One-on-One nightly from 8:30 p.m. to 10 p.m. on Twitter and YouTube Live. Join the conversation and tune in to One-on-One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show.
Back here at the Rose Hill Gym, Nick DeLuca, Ryan Gregware, our entire WFUV Sports crew. Fordham 40, UMass 36, just about set for the second half of play. Fordham started slow, but the Rams getting things going offensively. They hit 4 of their last 5 field goals, including a half-court heave from Kyle Rose at the buzzer to stretch the lead to 4. The Rams have to be encouraged with the way that the offense picked up as the second half went along. And I know that the scoreboard doesn't jump out at you for Darius Quisenberry with just 4 points on 2 of 8 from the field. But with everybody else getting involved, you can tell UMass has to pay attention to him.
Yeah, this one got exciting real fast, Nick, and that is what it's all about, what you said, because you look at the 4 points, those 4 points at the very end of the half, that's an encouraging sign. But it's about, I talked about this earlier, the pressure he takes from other guys, the attention that he's commanded. It's allowed Chuba to be on one. How about Rossi Nowitzki, 7 points, Nick? We haven't seen that all year, so it's allowed other guys to step up, hit shots. Pat Kelly with 2 threes, and the offense really impressive in that first half.
The Rams started slow, but able to get to 41% from the field on 16 of 39 by the end of the first half. And with 16 field goals, of course, just 12 all on Saturday's game against Davidson. For UMass, Rams able to hold in check Noah Fernandez, their leading scorer, with that 3 towards the tail end of the first half, but into foul trouble. Fordham has done, as they have all year, a good job on keying on the top options for UMass.
And he had 2 fouls, 4 minutes into the game, so it was hard for him to get things going. But yeah, you look at this one, you look at the 3-point shooting. It's hard to tell which team is last in the conference and which team is top 20 in the nation, because Fordham's shooting 42% from beyond the arc, UMass just 26.
Rams getting 2 of those 5 threes from Pat Kelly, Rastik Nowitzki with 1, Kyle Rose and Josh Colon-Navarro. As both teams make their way onto the court, Fordham in the home white tops and bottoms, UMass in the road crimson tops and bottoms. Minutemen will start with it with Fernandez, Kelly, Stedman, Buttrick, and T.J. Weeks out of the halftime break. And for Fordham, Kyle Rose, Josh Colon-Navarro, Antrell Charlton, Abdou Simbila, and Chuba Ohams. Waiting for the ball to be put in play. Cal Neptune having a chat with the official along the far side in the 50th meeting all time between Fordham and UMass. The Minutemen to 32-17 in that matchup throughout the two teams' histories. Ball back into play. Fernandez to float, knocked away. Perimeter near side possession. Kyle Rose. Fordham forcing a turnover out of the gates in the second half. With the basketball up by 4, straight on Antrell Charlton. Block F portion of the logo. Screen right Simbila, straight on Ohams. Shoulder high possession with 15 to shoot. Charlton dribbled it off his foot, right of the lane through the baseline. And UMass has it down 4. Half a minute in, second half. Fordham 40, UMass 36. Rich Kelly, one of 3 Minutemen averaging double figures. The drop-off pass, right block, swatted away by Simbila. Stedman had it knocked away. Charlton far corner feed Cologne Navarro. Ball fake, righty runner. Too strong. Offensive board. Simbila back up with it. Possession batted away. And UMass, the loose ball far side with Buttrick.
Both teams playing with a ton of energy right now, but with that comes sloppy play like we've seen the last two possessions.
Step back Fernandez from the free throw line. All net. Noah Fernandez now up to 5 points. Playing with the 2 fouls, and UMass within 2, 40-38. A minute 10 in second half. Curling around Kyle Rose up top. Screen right Simbila. Between the legs dribble off his foot. UMass possession. Rich Kelly with the tight defense.
And Kyle Rose not attempting to go after that one. I think, he looked at the official. He expected it to be off UMass, but he doesn't get the call to go his way. Fordham turns it over.
Fernandez will inbound Kelly, surging into the front court. Stop 8-10 stamp, righty runner off glass, in and out, but a foul called. Kelly strong to the basket with UMass pushing the pace. Fordham with the foul on the interior. Some contact underneath, and Josh Cologne Navarro has his first and Fordham's first.
Something we've seen from Kelly thus far, he's not just a three-point guy. We've talked about him leading the conference in that three-point percentage, but he's not just one-dimensional. We've seen him attack the basket like he did there. We've seen him pull up for the 2. He really can score from all 3 levels.
First free throw is good for Kelly, averaging 12.5 points per game. Had 6 in the opening half. Now up to 7 with the first free throw. His second is good. Brad from Shelton, Connecticut, making college stops at Boston College and Quinnipiac. All knotted at 40. Fordham and UMass a minute and a half into the second half. Left arc Kyle Rose, waist-high possession. Curling Charlton left arc. Bounce left of the lane, Ohams backing down on the defense from Buttrick. Cross-court pass, Cologne Navarro. The 3 is good. Josh Cologne Navarro near corner all alone and drills it. Fordham in front by 3, 43-40, 2 minutes in second half. Fernandez, the body from Rose, stop at the free throw line. Bounce left arc for Buttrick. Curling around Kelly. Doesn't use the screen. Fernandez the handoff. Jumps through contact. His righty runner is good. Noah Fernandez through the traffic, getting the 2 to go. UMass trailing by 1, 43-42 Fordham.
That jolt of energy that Fernandez just brought, something they desperately missed in the first half. You get the feeling, with just 2 fouls, they did a good job of hiding him, will be a huge factor in the second half.
Up to 7 points. Ohams backing down. Simbila outside the restricted area. Sky hook with the left. Front rim, no. Fernandez, the free throw line board. Fernandez, the pull up straight on 3, in and out. Simbila rises for the center of the paint rebound. Fordham hangs on to the 1-point lead, 43-42, approaching 3 minutes in to the second half. Left of the lane drive, Ohams stops on the block, drawing the double team. Left arc Charlton, Ohams gets it back. Far corner with 15 to shoot. Straight on 3, Charlton. It's good. Antro Charlton on the feed from Ohams. The vision from the big man, and Charlton knocks it down. Fordham in front by 4, 46-42. Just over 3 minutes in second half. Fernandez stop at the left block. Left arc kick out Buttrick. Backing down on the defense, it's Stedman. In and out on the lefty flip hook. Charlton clears for the underneath the basket board. Pacing into the front court, stop left elbow. Ohams the jump stop right block. Up and under, rolls it in. Ohams with the right, up to 10 points with 6 rebounds. Fordham by 6, 48-42. It's a 5-0 Fordham run.
There you see there, back on Stedman, getting position inside and taking advantage of the defender.
Right of the lane, Kelly, the ball fake, his pass, far side of the lane, knocked away. Simbila a fingertip out through the baseline. UMass keeps possession with 16 on the shot clock. Josh Cologne Navarro, Abdu Simbila check out with Darius Quisenberry and Rostik Nowitzki coming in for the first time in this second half. Fordham by 6, 48-42. Fernandez left arc, curling around, stop 8-10 stamp. The shoulder, fall away from 10. Front rim off, bat of the loose ball underneath. Weeks clamps it, got it knocked away. The shovel by Nowitzki. Fordham with numbers if they hurry. Rose, right of the lane drive, attacking, left it off the right of the rim, but a defensive foul called. It's Kelly plummeting to the floor, drawing the block. And after the loose ball outlet by Nowitzki, Fordham out and running. And a trip to the free throw line on on the other side of this timeout. Fordham with the last 5 points in this one, on top by 6, 48-42, 15:58 on the second half clock. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Chris Hennessy here, reminding you to tune in to our New York Islanders coverage all season long. Follow along for every game as Tyler Mooney and I take you through the historic first season at Belmont Park. On Twitter at WFUV Sports, on the WFUV Sports YouTube page, and wherever you get your podcasts every week on 5 on 3. The New York Islanders here on WFUV Sports.
Back here at the Rose Hill Gym, Fordham 48, UMass 42, 15:58 on the second half clock, and the Rams have started 3 of 6 from the field. In the second half, UMass 2 of 6, and for a team that has struggled so mightily shooting the basketball, in particular from long range, Fordham under 25% from deep over their last 7, have hit each of their last 2, and overall 50%, 7 of 14.
We beat this drum before the game, right? This is really where you need to see the offense take a step and turn around because of the chances UMass will give you. You give them credit because they're executing right now. You know, we've talked about 2 for 2 to start the second half. Now opened up a 6-point lead early on when they couldn't hit shots is when UMass looked at their best. But with Fordham, you're combining this 3-point shooting with the defense we've seen all year. That's what makes them scary. That's what makes UMass going to have to claw out of this hole.
And perhaps it's easier when facing an opponent giving up 78 points a game. It is worth mentioning that UMass is last in the A-10 in defense, but Fordham looks so much more aggressive, attacking on the offensive end.
And from what we've seen this year, you know, open threes don't mean they're going to go in, right? You've seen countless examples of the Miami game, ton of open threes. They weren't able to get them to go. I think it's what they've done inside that's opened up kind of the perimeter, allowed them to get open. You look at Chuba Oham's attacking the basket. Some other guys that do some build early in the game that take some pressure off the guys from the perimeter, that force attention down low, and it's allowed them to get open looks from behind the arc that they've hit tonight.
Chuba Oham's leading the way for Fordham, 10 points, 6 rebounds. Josh Colon-Devarro with 9 on a pair of made threes. Rastik Nowitzki with 7. All coming in that first half. Kyle Rose headed to the free throw line after drawing the foul on the drive in front of the timeout. Bends the knees with the left. His first is good.
And his numbers, they won't jump out you in this one. Just 4 points, that half-court buzzer-beating 3. But you look at the defense, then. He's picked up Fernandez, their leading scorer. Even though he's a wing, Fernandez an undersized point guard. It shows to the trust that this coaching staff has in Kyle Rose's defensive ability.
Rose hits a pair. Fordham, an 8-point lead, 50-42. Just over 4 minutes in second half. UMass going to work on offense. Stedman to flip straight on Kelly. Badgered by Quisenberry. Back to the Ram portion of the logo with 12 to shoot. It's Buttrick, the baseline drive. Center of the paint dish. Stedman turning around. His flip up. Knocked away. Charlton, the basketball into the front court. Long to Quisenberry. It's good. In front of the three-point stripe, Quisenberry from 18 knocks down the mid-range shot, and Fordham has its largest lead of the night. That's 10, 52-42. 15-10 to go second half. Stedman bowling over Nowitzki, drawing the offensive foul. Nowitzki, the body control on the inside. Stedman lowering the shoulder. And Nowitzki well positioned. It's another UMass turnover, their 10th in the early stages of the second half, and Rastik Nowitzki provide quality minutes on both ends of the floor.
And with every possession, the more impressive he gets. You said quality minutes, that's putting it lightly with the job he's done on both ends of the floor here tonight.
Oham's right of the lane drive, backing down. Buttrick, the defense, stop outside the restricted area, bubbles it in. Oham's the righty hook. Fordham in front by 12, 54-42, 5 minutes in second half. Fernandez attacking, flip up with the right, left it short. Out through the baseline, a foul called. Fernandez headed to the free throw line, drawing the contact with the left shoulder to the chest of Nowitzki, who picks up his third. And with 7 points, Fernandez a chance to add to it.
And that foul comes at a good time for UMass because Fordham offensively is just playing so aggressive right now. You look at all the different ways they can score. This is them at their best, whether it's Darius Quisenberry, the shot creating Chuba Ohams, down low, kicking it to open guys on the wing. This is what Fordham is at its best in the second half.
Chuba Ohams, Kyle Rose will check out with Josh Colon-Navarro, Pat Kelly coming back in, joining Nowitzki, Charlton, and Quisenberry, the 5 on the floor. Fernandez eyeing up the goal. His second falls in. Fordham's lead trimmed back to 10, 54-44. 5.5 minutes in second half. Quisenberry, the bounce straight away. Over the head possession, Charlton. Right arc, Nowitzki, the 3. It's good! Rastik Nowitzki into double figures with 10. He's hit a couple of threes, and Fordham in front by 13. 57-44, 6 minutes in second half. Fernandez, the right baseline drive, shielded by Charlton. Stop. The bounce, far block, backing down Jones. Near side pass intercepted by Quisenberry. Fordham slows it down. A stroll across the midline for the Rams' leading scorer, making his return to the lineup tonight. Rastik Nowitzki with a season-high 10 points, roaming right, curling Quisenberry, head of the key jumper. Right rim and off, a clear for the center of the paint board by Buttrick. Across the midline, Kelly, the bounce near side, step back Garcia, the 3. Front rim and off, the follow on the tip by Buttrick running the baseline. Trent Buttrick with the hustle, and UMass trails by 11, 57-46, 13 and a half minutes remaining in this one.
Great determination there from Buttrick, and you see with plays like that why is this team's leading rebounder.
Nowitzki, head of the key, got possession poked away, far side taken by Buttrick. Along the far sideline, right of the lane, running the baseline, his pass to the near side deflected and out through the baseline. Last touch by Fordham. Colon-Navarro got a hand on it. So UMass will keep it in the front court, trailing by 11. Darius Quisenberry will head out to the Fordham bench with Kyle Rose coming back in. Trent Buttrick will head off for UMass. CJ Kelly returns. Fordham in front by 11. 13 minutes remaining. Kelly, the left of the lane drive. The hesitation, pours it in off the glass. It's Rich Kelly attacking the basket into double figures with 10 tonight. UMass trails by 9 at the 13-minute mark, second half.
And when he can run the floor like that and then drill the 3 the way he's able to, it makes him such a dangerous weapon for this offense.
Left arc 3. Charlton knocks it down. Staring into the UMass zone, Antrell Charlton steps into a confident 3. He's got 8 points. Fordham in front by 12. Right elbow jumper for Fernandez off back heel. Right block rebound for Antrell Charlton, and a foul away from the basketball will go to UMass. Fernandez through the traffic on the pull-up, and Fordham's defense turning him away on that attempt. Rams will make a couple of substitutions as Rastik Nowitzki heads out, as does Darius Quisenberry. Right arc Kelly, over the head possession, block F portion of the logo. Colon-Navarro tries the 3. It's good. Fordham has hit 10 threes tonight, 10 of 17, and the Rams in front 63-48. As Matt McCall wants a timeout with Kelly dribbling over the midline. The Rams in their last 7 games shot it under 25%, and tonight have hit 10 threes on 17 attempts and have opened up their largest lead of the night at 15 to 63-48. Back to our Rose Hill studios for a one-on-one scoreboard with Danny Scott.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
Starting things off in the world of college basketball, the Orange have retaken the lead against the Tar Heels, with Syracuse up by 2 in the second half. There are not any other games in the A10 tonight. However, there are a couple of fantastic matchups tomorrow with Dayton traveling to Richmond and St. Bonaventure traveling to take on VCU. In the NBA, the two top teams in the East are facing off in Miami with the Heat up on the Bulls 39-23. The Nets and Raptors are playing at the Barclays Centers, and the Raptors are up on the Nets 52-36. New York City Mayor Eric Adams released a statement saying that he would love to see Kyrie Irving play, but will not make an exception for the Nets star. Over on the ice, the Devils are up 2-0 on the Canucks at the Prudential Center nearing the end of the first period, and the Leafs and Capitals are locked at 1. In the world of baseball, Derek Jeter has stepped down as Marlins CEO and shareholder earlier this morning, saying the vision for the future of the franchise is different than the one I signed up to lead. Today is also the deadline for a new collective bargaining agreement to be reached to avoid the cancellation of any games this year. There is no news yet, but it appears baseball will not be starting on time this year. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Danny Scott.
Fordham has not hit double-digit threes since January the 25th against Dayton. They combined for 10 threes in their last 2 games against LaSalle and Davidson, and tonight they are shooting 10 of 17 from long range, 5 of 5 in the second half to open up their largest lead of the night at 15, 63-48, 12-13 to go second half. We were asking where the offense is going to come from. Can they find guys to make shots? Well, tonight they found guys to hit the shots.
And how about this, Nick? Their leading scorer, Darius Quisberry, he's the one guy who's taken a 3 and not made one. So it's been a complete team effort, top to bottom. You look, Josh Cole Navarro, 3 for Fort Antro, Charlton, 2 for 3. These are guys who have struggled as of late. They stepped up here tonight. It's been a fantastic effort from beyond the arc for the Rams.
And for a UMass team that has allowed opponents 78 points a game on the season, the struggles continue, and for a Fordham offense that had averaged under 57 points a game over the last 6, has burned UMass for 63 with 12 minutes remaining.
Now, the one thing I'll say, Nick, is that UMass has 5 games this year where they've came back from double digits. They can shoot themselves into any game, so Fordham can't play kind of lackadaisically, or they have to keep the same energy. Straight
on Fernandez, stop at the elbow, fall away with 5 to shoot, in and out, right block rebound battle. Jones rips it away. Second chance for UMass. Fernandez left of the lane, back to the basket. Right arc 3, catch and shoot. Kelly knocks it down. C.J. Kelly on the feed from Fernandez. UMass trails by 12, 63-51, 11 and a half minutes remaining. Chuba Oham's head of the key, striding left of the lane, hesitation, banks it in, plus the foul. Through the contact, Oham's muscling, and Greg Jones, the guilty party, to send us to another timeout. Fordham out to a 14-point lead. Rams 65, UMass 51, and the final 11 and a half tonight. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
The women's team is headed to the women's A10 tournament. Join our guys Dylan Balsamo and Andrew Galata as they head down to Delaware, and keep an eye on our Spreaker page for every game throughout the playoff run.
Fordham 65, UMass 51, 11 and a half minutes remaining second half. As Ryan alluded to, worth mentioning that UMass has rallied to win 5 games this year when trailing by double digits. Most recently, a 16-point comeback against LaSalle on February the 19th. Their largest deficit tonight was 15, currently trailing by 14, but Fordham has started the second half 9 of 13 from the field. That's 69%. And for the struggles that they have endured over this recent stretch, albeit in some wins, they have just not been able to get the offense going, and it's a total reversal tonight.
And there was being due, and then there was this offense, right? They really needed a performance where they just shot it decently. They've stepped up a huge way here. Now you look at it, when you're 5-5-3, you have to keep Chuba Ohems in one-on-one. You can't double him and force guys to shoot. So he's able to take it to the basket, get the and one like he just did there. With all these different elements to score, it opens up the three again if you want to put a double on Ohems, and that's how this offense can play at its full potential. The second half, the most impressive, 10-minute stretch I've seen of Fordham basketball on the offensive end this season.
And with all the attention being paid to the perimeter shooting that had struggled so mightily, also encouraging to see the interior presence that Fordham has been able to turn up a notch. Chuba Ohems continues to get it done with 14 points. Rastik Nowitzki with 10. Abdou Simbila with 4. The presence down low for Fordham has been strong as well.
And they always have that with Chuba Ohems consistently. Last time out 15 and 10 for Ohems, but when nothing else gets going, that's where you can put the attention on him. He had 6 turnovers last game, 6 turnovers in 3 of his last 4. Just 1 here tonight for Ohems.
Of course, always important to mention that UMass, so good shooting the 3. Not tonight, 6 of 22, which is 27%. But they can heat up in a hurry, and Fordham needs to continue that strong play on the defensive end of the floor.
And this coaching staff knows that. And one thing they always talked about, and we always talk about, it's a 40-minute effort, right? It's not a 31-minute and 54-second effort like we've seen thus far. Bad math by me. I was off by 10 seconds there. But you expect this team, they have to keep the energy. They have to keep forcing UMass into taking tough shots like they have throughout this night.
It's all good. It happens. Math on the scoreboard says Fordham 65, UMass 51, 11:26 remaining in this one. Chuba Ohems trying to add 1 to 2 after the and one through the contacts. His free throw rattles in. Ohems to 15 points tonight, 6 rebounds, on the hunt for a 6th straight double-double. And Fordham back in front by 15, 66-51. Fernandez, yo-yo left of the lane. Dominguez straight on 3. In and out. Ohems rips away the center of the paint rebound, his 7th. Fordham with the basketball by 15 tonight. Shooting at 69% in this second half and 48% on the evening. Roaming right arc, Colon Navarro. Straight away, Ohems. Left arc feed, Quisenberry. Gets the screen. Surges center of the paint. Flips it up. Left it short. Right rim. And the right block rebound for C.J. Kelly. Striding into the front court. The kick out, Fernandez. Extra pass. Near corner 3. Right rim and off from Garcia. Kelly battling on the boards. And a loose ball foul to the Fordham wingman. Will be his first and Fordham's 3rd. Kelly headed off to the bench as Kyle Rose and Abdou Simbila will come back in. UMass with the basketball, trailing by 15. 66-51 Fordham. Fernandez stops right elbow. Dominguez, A-10 stamp. The adjustment with the left, rolls it in. DeAndre Dominguez up to 8 points in this one, and UMass trims the Fordham lead to 13 at the midway mark, second half. Darius Quisenberry with 6 points tonight, making his return to the Fordham lineup, missing the previous 5 games after leaving a contest with St. Bonaventure due to injury. With 9 to shoot, head of the key. Left arc Rose. The feed left block. Ohems juggled. And with Fernandez hitting the deck, bowled over by Rose, an offensive foul before the pass. UMass possession. It's
a good decision by Kyle Rose, dishing it. Chuba Ohems wide open, had an easy dunk in front of him, but give credit to the UMass defense with the body control, forcing the offensive foul.
Rose's 2nd, Fordham's 4th. Garcia into the front court, head of the key, pull up from the free throw line. All net. Javon Garcia, the sophomore, a 7-point per game scorer off the bench. And Garcia able to hit that one for his first points of the night. Now 1 of 7 from the field. UMass down by 11, 66-55, 9.5 minutes to go. Left arc spin, Cologne Navarro between the legs dribble with 10 to shoot. Curling Quisenberry, Cologne Navarro with a yo-yo dribble, 7 and 6 on the shot clock. Cologne Navarro, head of the key, surges center of the lane, righty runner, left rim and off. Simbila rips away the left block rebound, flips it back up, it rolls in. Abdou Simbila with 6 points tonight. Fordham in front by 13, 68-55. The Rams attacking the offensive glass.
Simbila, he had those 4 early points, his first point since that. I think he's been fantastic just with his presence in the interior tonight.
Dominguez off with the right arc 3. Extra opportunity, UMass, right baseline drive. It's Kelly losing possession. Out through the baseline. And Fordham will be awarded possession after Kelly just lost the handle. UMass turning it over for a 12th time tonight.
And down 13 here, UMass can't afford that. When they, don't score, it needs to be when they miss shots because they've done, not a great job at shooting here tonight. So for Fordham to force turnovers, don't let them shoot their threes. That is what the game plan is going to be here to close us out.
Quisenberry into the front court, stops at the elbow near corner 3 Rose. Short, Dominguez the left block rebound. Striding across the midline, UMass trails by 13. Dominguez pulling up. Garcia at the Ram portion of the logo. Head of the key, left elbow, attacking, flips it up, it rolls in. Javon Garcia driving with that aggression. And UMass cuts the Fordham lead to 11, 68-57, 8 minutes remaining. Oham stop at the A-10 stamp, looking to flip it up. Lost possession, a foul call. Dominguez with the closeout to the elbow of Oham's. UMass with their 4th. As Dominguez is charged with his first.
Fordham getting closer and closer to that magical bonus here where free throws could really help them put this game out of reach.
8 minutes remaining. Fordham in front 68-57. Backing down Oham's restricted area. Twisting away the two-handed flush. Oham's going up and throwing it down. 15 points tonight. And the Rams in front by 13. Garcia, the give up, the righty runner Dominguez back heeling off. Oham's clears for an 8th rebound. Rams in front by 13. Quisenberry left arc. Thought about the 3, doesn't take it. Screen right Simbila. Stop at the elbow. Flip for Rose with 15 to shoot. Quisenberry curling around. Fordham will reset the offense. Left arc Rose. Float left of the lane. Oham's backing down with 10 to shoot. Behind the back pass. Simbila in and out of his hands. It's deflected toward the Fordham bench. And out through the sideline, the Rams turn it over with 7:18 remaining. Headed to another timeout. Fordham in front by 13, 70-57. Looking to close out a victory to open the final week of the regular season. You're listening to Fordham Basketball on WFUV Sports.
Hey everyone, I'm Michael Calamari, here with Andrew Galati, your main host for the all-new golf podcast here at WFUV, On the Green.
We'll be breaking down all things on the PGA Tour, including tournament predictions, recaps, and news surrounding the sport's best players.
We'll also be joined by recurring hosts Chris Hennessy and Sam Davis, as well as others along the way.
You can listen to On the Green on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Get ready to hit the links here on the green.
.718 mark of the second half. Fordham in front by 13, 70-57 on the strength of 61% shooting in the second half. UMass last in the Atlantic 10 in defense, and Fordham taking advantage tonight. The Rams more aggressive on the offensive end, the shooting better, and also getting some big-time production down low.
you look at the body language from Fordham, and I think that's very telling because the shots are falling, but they really are aggressive, right? They're looking to attack the basket. When they're getting open from three, they're not hesitating. They're letting it rip. You see that confidence on display. It's projected itself on the defensive end as well. They've been able to score at all different levels today, and they forced UMass into a ton of trouble.
This UMass team that is coming off a season-high 22 turnovers against VCU. Matt McCall, their head coach, saying that felt like they were distracted, worrying about the pressure that VCU brought defensively. And Fordham has turned them over 12 times tonight, continuing to make the third best scoring offense in the Atlantic 10 uncomfortable toward the tail end of conference play. Ball back in. Fernandez across the midline stripe, trailing by 13. Fordham 70-57 the lead. Straightaway Buttrick roaming right. Defense from Ohams. Between the legs dribble. The shot fake. Picking it up straight on Garcia with 12 to shoot. Right arc pull up. Fernandez. The jab step with 10. Guarded by Rose. Another jab. Right of the lane drive. Flips it up and under. Rolls in. Fernandez strong to the goal off the dribble. The defense from Rose, but Fernandez outduels him on that possession. It's an 11-point Fordham lead, 70-59, 6.5 minutes remaining. Cologne Navarro stop right of the lane for Rose straight away. His possession poked by Weeks, striding into the front court, lays it up, and it rolls in. Center of the paint, Weeks cashing in on the steal, and UMass within 9, 6:20 to go.
And that's how UMass is going to really make Fordham uncomfortable. You put the pressure on them, you turn defense into offense, and by amping up that pressure, Fordham needs to respond.
Quisenberry coast to coast, center of the paint surge, knocked away. Out through the baseline, last touch by UMass, and a foul called. With Quisenberry picking up the pace. UMass is fifth as it goes to Javon Garcia, his second. Quisenberry to the free throw line.
We've talked about the presence of having Quisenberry back from the free throw line. That's another huge aspect. You look back to the Georgia Mason game, Fordham was begging them to take it, missing their free throws in and out. There's Quisenberry, the second most consistent free throw shooter on the team. He's a grad student. He's been in all the spots you could imagine. He's someone to feel comfortable with down the stretch taking free throws.
And right on cue, off on two.
Unreal.
Back heel and off on the second. Fordham, the lead stays 9, 70-61, 6-minute mark, second half. Left of the lane, Garcia, falling Quisenberry. Garcia rolls it in as Quisenberry fell to the floor. And the UMass guard cutting the Fordham lead to 7. A whistle with the officials conferring with both benches on the far side. Garcia potentially getting away with what some officials might have interpreted a technical, staring at Quisenberry as he fell to the floor. The pass along the near side bounced away from the reach of Cologne Navarro out toward the UMass bench. The Rams turn it over.
And this pressure that we're talking about is something Fordham struggled with throughout the year. UMass going on this run, cutting this now to a 7-point game. They've ramped up that pressure. They've had a full court press. These last few possessions, Fordham has not responded kindly.
UMass with a 6-0 run left of the goal inbound, floated by C.J. Kelly. Buttrick up top for Fernandez. Right elbow, right arc three. Kelly. Back heel off. The long rebound. Far corner tracked down by Charlton. Striding across the midline. Block F portion of the logo. The double team comes. Flip for Cologne Navarro. Fordham by 7, 70-63. Approaching the 5.5-minute mark in the second half. Quisenberry curling around with 12 to shoot. Fernandez, the defense, picks up his dribble. Float for Ohams near side. Right baseline, 5 to shoot. Stops, easy to the goal. Lays it in with the left. Ohams almost uncontested to the basket. Fordham in front by 9, 72-63. Weeks, the flip up, left elbow, left it short. Through some contact, no call. Ohams with a 9th rebound tonight And Fordham with the basketball in front by 9.
And that's exactly what Fordham wants to do. You score on your end, you force UMass to try to respond. They'll advise shot early in the shot clock there. You get the rebound. Now you have a chance to open it back up to double digits.
Straight on Ohams, flips it up. Righty runner rolls off. The center of the paint rebound taken by Buttrick. The pass near side intercepted by Quisenberry. His pass behind on the give and go from Rose. And Fordham promptly, after forcing a turnover, gives it right back.
There's unreal energy there by Darius Quisenberry, realizing the pass would be off, putting his body on the line, getting it, gathering the ball quickly. Just Kyle Rose too much on that pass. Quisenberry not set completely. Ill-advised turnover for the Rams.
Garcia across the midline. UMass trailing by 9, 72-63, 4:35 remaining. Garcia between the legs dribble, stop at the left block. Fernandez to float with 12 to shoot, working on Charlton's defense. Possession poked away. Mutual grasp of the basketball at the left arc. And Fordham with the possession arrow. UMass turns it over. Fernandez losing the handle, and Charlton proving a tough customer on the defensive end.
And Fordham has responded to that UMass pressure with simply just bringing it for their own. We've seen the last few games, especially versus VCU. It was something Minutemen struggled with, Fordham taking that to their advantage.
72-63, the Fordham lead. Ohams straddling the three-point line, right of the lane drive, jump stop, walled off by Buttrick, falling to the floor, and a foul called on the UMass graduate forward, as Ohams falling away to try and get the pass off. Will draw the 6th UMass foul in this second half. Rams in front by 9, 72-63, approaching the 4-minute mark, second half. Right baseline Ohams, walling into the paint, working on Buttrick, muscles through contact, plus the foul. The scoop up, Ohams working on Buttrick, and it's been no contest tonight. 21 for Chuba Ohams, a chance to add to it.
And every single time he is in one-on-one, he should go up with it. It's exactly what he's done. 21-9, as you mentioned. Whenever Fordham's had a struggle, you give it to Ohams down low, and he's responded in a huge way.
Guy who has been so crucial for Fordham, averaging 17 and 12 over his last 5 games, nearing a 6th straight double-double, has 17 this season, and getting it done on the offensive end tonight. His and one opportunity, off back heel and out, left block board for Javon Garcia. Fordham by 11, 74-63, 3:55 and ticking in the second half. Weeks right arc, guarded by Charlton with 15 to shoot. Surges center of the paint. Kick out Fernandez, roaming up top. Kelly for Fernandez straight away. Shoulder high possession with 8 to shoot. Fernandez left arc, guarded by Riley. Step back, left arc 3. Misses everything out through the baseline. And Fordham takes over possession. UMass wanting Charlton called for perhaps tipping the basketball out. They don't get it, and it sends us to another timeout. Fordham holding UMass scoreless in the last 2 minutes and 26 seconds to an 11-point lead in the final 3:36, 74-63. Back to our Rose Hill Studios, a one-on-one scoreboard with Danny Scott.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
North Carolina is now up on Syracuse by 1 with just over 6 minutes left in that game. Later on tonight, number 3 Baylor and number 23 Texas will face off in a battle of 2 top 25 squads. Tip-off is scheduled for 9 p.m. in that one. In the A-10, there are no other games tonight. However, there are a couple of great matchups tomorrow with Dayton traveling to Richmond and St. Bonaventure traveling to VCU. In the NBA, the 2 top teams in the East are facing off down in Miami, with the Heat up on the Bulls 55-46 at the half. The Nets and Raptors are playing at the Barclays Center tonight, and the Nets are down 71-48 at halftime. Over on the ice, the Devils are up 3-1 on the Canucks at the Prudential Center, and the Maple Leafs have jumped out in front against the Capitals 3-1 at the start of the second period. In the world of baseball, Derek Jeter has stepped down as Marlins CEO and shareholder earlier this morning, saying the vision for the future of the franchise is different than the one I signed up to lead. Today is also the deadline for a new collective bargaining agreement to be reached to avoid the cancellation of any games this year. There is no news yet, but it appears that baseball will not be starting on time this year. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Danny Scott.
Fordham 74, UMass 63. The Rams have led by as many as 15 tonight. Shooting it at 56% from the field, 62% in this second half. Holding a UMass team that is second in the Atlantic 10 in shooting three-pointers to just 22% from long range and 41% from the field. UMass with 7 fouls in the second half, Fordham with 4. And Fordham has to be pleased with the offensive effort tonight.
100%. They've done a great job of keeping the pressure on UMass. You know, when Fordham's bringing that pressure, it really complements them. UMass went on a bit of a run, but Chuba Oam silenced that. Momentum back to the Fordham Rams side. Now you have 3.5 minutes. Hold that momentum and leave Rose Hill with a win.
This is the front end of the home and home. These two teams, Fordham and UMass, will be back at it from Amherst on Wednesday night before the Rams return home on Saturday to close out the regular season against George Washington. Trying to hang on here. In front by a score of 74-63. Oham straight away, left arc three, Riley. It's good! Zach Riley off the bench to catch and shoot. Fordham, a 14-point lead, 77-63, 3:10 to go. Stedman, righty runner, goes down with an answer. Michael Stedman off the feed from Kelly. And UMass cuts the Fordham lead to 12, 3 minutes remaining. Backcourt pressure, over the head pass for Rose. Riley across the midline. Left arc turn, Charlton straight away. Block F portion of the logo. Guarded hip pocket by Fernandez. Directing traffic with 10 to shoot. Between the legs dribble. Bounce left of the lane. Oham's near corner kick out. Shot fake Riley. Going up. The ball fake. Reverse layup. Rolls in. 5 straight points from Zach Riley from the Fordham bench. And Fordham a 79-65 lead. 2.5 minutes to go. Fernandez stops, free throw line jumper. Stedman knocks it down. Michael Stedman has got 4 straight for UMass. And a timeout called with 2:23 remaining. Fordham is 79, UMass 67. And the Rams continuing to get scoring from every which way tonight. Able to get that production from Riley, from Charlton, Simbilla. And it's been a solid effort for the Rams. And the way of reaching deep into their bench.
And how about Zach Riley? We talk a lot about trust, but what really is trust? It's putting in a guy, 2 minutes, crunch time, 5 early points for him. He's rewarding this coaching staff with that trust.
Fordham with 79 points after scoring a season-low 45 last time out. They have not reached the 80-point mark since November the 28th. And looking to return to that plateau for the first time in conference play. In the final 2:23 in front of UMass by 12. Left of the goal, inbound in the backcourt. Slung for Quisenberry, far side. The bounce for Cologne Navarro. Backcourt pressure across the midline. Block F portion of the logo, Charlton. Waist-high possession. Twisting around with Fernandez, the tight defense, straight on Ohams. Left elbow stop with 12 to shoot. Backing down. The far corner kick out back to the basket. Charlton with 8, with 7, stopping at the free throw line. 8-10 stamp kick out. Rose with 5 and 4 head of the key. Turning around, his shot, front rim and off. And the right elbow rebound for TJ Weeks. Right arc Garcia knocking over Cologne Navarro. And a block called as Fordham's top perimeter defender falls to the floor. So good at drawing those charges. But Garcia gets the call to go his way. It's Fordham's 5th of the second half.
Garcia leading with the hand there. I thought there was a chance it would go against him. Joshua Navarro would take yet another charge, but the refs thought otherwise.
Cologne Navarro picks up his second and will go to the Fordham bench with the Rams in front by 12. 1:45 remaining. Left of the goal, inbound. The bounce for Kelly. Right of the lane surge. Rolls off the right rim. Loose ball left block for Garcia. UMass with another chance. Trailing by 12. Final 90 seconds. Twisting pass for the right arc. CJ Kelly with 10 to shoot. Shut off by Quisenberry. Stedman free throw line jumper is good. Michael Stedman with 13 points tonight on 6 of 12 from the field. UMass within 10 in the final minute 15. 79-69 Fordham. Straight away Ohams back to the basket. Eyed up by Stedman at the free throw line. Rams looking to chew as much clock as possible. Block F portion of the logo. Quisenberry with contact made to his waist area will draw the foul and head to the free throw line. Front end of the 1-and-1 with UMass committing their 7th foul. Quisenberry to the free throw line. His first is good.
And this is what I was talking about earlier with experience, because Darius Quisenberry, I know he missed those first 2 free throws, but really throughout the series, he's been very consistent from the line. When they're going to bring this pressure, we're going to have to hit shots down the stretch. It's Darius Quisenberry you want with the basketball.
2 out of 2. Fordham 81, UMass 69. First time over 80 points since November the 28th against Central Connecticut. The twisting righty finish goes down for Fernandez. UMass within 10, 81-71, final 56 seconds. Riley, a foot behind the midline, back for Charlton. Foul called before he got rid of the pass, and Zach Riley to the free throw line. 1-and-1 once again for Fordham, in front by 10, 81-71, 54 seconds remaining.
And that's exactly who UMass should hunt to foul there. The true freshmen who came to this team late in the season, those are always the guys you want at the line if you're the opponent.
Javon Garcia checks out as Rich Kelly will return. UMass's second best scorer with 10 points tonight. Riley's first rolls off. Stedman, the underneath the basket rebound. Kelly striding across the midline. Down by 10, UMass in the final 45 seconds. Straight on 3, Stedman. Left rim and off. Ohams clamps the left block board. It's his 10th, another double-double. Contact to the shoulder area and a foul called. Chuba Ohams, much to the delight of the Rose Hill Gym crowd, makes it a 6th straight double-double.
And you hear the crowd now into this game. Intro Charlton going up to Chuba Ohams. Not sure if he knew that was going to be, the double-double, if he was keeping track of his stats. But Chuba Ohams yet again with a double-double.
Hard to overestimate what he has meant to Fordham this year. Front end on the free throw, rattles around and falls. Fordham 82, UMass 71, 42 seconds remaining as Ohams reaches a season high 22 points and 10 rebounds. Ohams a couple of bounces, eyeing up the goal. His second's all net. Ohams with 23 and 10. And Fordham by 12, 83-71, final 40 seconds. Righty leaner, Kelly banks it in. Rich Kelly, the adjustment, right of the lane. And it's a 10-point Fordham lead. Backcourt pressure, striding across the midline. Cologne Navarro, surging left arc. The baseline run, fouled by Buttrick. And Josh Cologne Navarro, once again, over 90% from the free throw line. With a chance to put this game on ice. Fordham up by 10, 83-73 in the final half minute.
And to shed 6 seconds off the clock and then to get Josh Cologne Navarro to the free throw line, pretty much best case scenario for the Rams that possession.
Fordham shooting at 50% tonight. 58% from three for a team, as Cologne Navarro sinks the first, that had not scored really in its last 8 games. Been held under a 60-point per game average in their last 7, and tonight explode for 85 as Cologne Navarro hits a pair. Final 30 seconds tonight, Fordham by 12. Right arc, it's Kelly twisting around the right arc 3. Buttrick, left rim and off. Ohams, an 11th right block rebound. Josh Cologne Navarro will dribble it out across the midline. Fordham returns to the Rose Hill Gym with a victory. They'll improve with a 7th A-10 win on the season. An inch closer to avoiding that Wednesday of A-10 tournament weekend. Fordham 85, UMass 73, the final. The one-on-one post-game report up next.
The one-on-one post-game report.
Back here at the Rose Hill Gym, the one-on-one post-game report. Nick DeLuca, Ryan Gregware here with you after an 85-73 Fordham victory over UMass. The Rams opening up the final week of the season, in which they will play 3 times. With a victory, we'll be back at it on Wednesday on the road at UMass, and then finishing things up against George Washington. And for a team that had averaged under 57 points a game over their last 6, exploding for 85 tonight. Pleasure to be joined by Fordham Associate Head Coach Keith Ergo. Coach, coming off a rough game over the weekend against Davidson, held to a season-low 45 points. Tonight you explode for 85. What went right tonight?
Well, we made some shots. I mean, that's pretty much, it wasn't like, now, Davidson's a pretty darn good defensive team, but, we shot 4 for 30. And if you go back and watch the film, we had a lot of open looks. But it's comfortable being home, right? So we knew we were going to be able to score. We weren't worried about making shots at home. But we were worried about keeping our defensive intensity, because we've been really good on the defensive end, and they're dangerous. They got a lot of guys, especially the way we've been playing recently. Our defense necessarily doesn't fit their personnel, because we knew they could put 5 guys on the floor that can all shoot threes and all make a few, right? So we had to battle a little bit. We gave up too many offensive rebounds and gave up too many second chance points in the first half, but we cleaned that up, I think, in the second. And obviously we were able to get a lead and hang on to it.
And Coach, there's a ton of guys individually I could point out and ask you about, but the one guy I want to talk about is Rossi Nowitzki. 10 points for him, a season high. What did you see from his play here tonight?
Yeah, you know what? Rostic's been going through a lot recently, so we couldn't be more proud of the way he's handled his business. Obviously, with what's going on at home, he deals with that on a daily basis, so you can only imagine what he's got going on between his ears. For him to come in here and have a game like that, a career night for him here. That was his best night, not just on the offensive end, but the defensive end. And you could have seen it coming. He's been getting better and better and more minutes. The way we've been playing a lot bigger recently, and he's just been getting more experience and more experience. He's a really skilled basketball player, and he got to put some of those on display tonight.
one of the reasons for the kickstart on offense, you return your leading scorer, 17 points a game for Darius Quisenberry, who had some rust early, 8 points on 3 of 11 from the field. But what was the impact for him, not only scoring the basketball, but the way that he's able to take pressure off of those around him?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you can spread the floor and he's a threat and they don't leave him at any point in time. So all of a sudden you saw some of the – I mean, Chuba didn't get doubled as much, right? They had come in here thinking they were going to double him. They tried to do it early. And when you have him on the perimeter, even if he's not shooting the ball, he's a threat to go off for 6 or 7. So you can't leave him. So that it just adds a much more room on the floor for a guy like Chuba to do his thing. And, obviously we knew he would be a little rusty, but – to be able to get him out there for however many minutes he played, get his win back a little bit, it's obviously going to bode well for us, hopefully, here in the next couple of week and a half.
Now, 2 games coming up, very quick turnaround, playing UMass again. You guys had a good, short-term memory after that Davidson game. How, on now the other end of the spectrum, can you look past this game and take care of business versus UMass coming up?
Yeah, you know what? It's not going to be easy, quite honestly. I mean, back-to-back games against the same team. It'll be our, 3rd game in, 5 days or something? We got 4 in 7 days. So it's not going to be easy. We got to take care of our bodies. We won't really have much of a practice. So it'll be more watching film, trying to get better, taking a look at – obviously, we got to take care of the basketball. It's been an Achilles heels for us, specifically on the road. That's going to be dramatic. They're going to shoot the ball a lot better than they did tonight. And, the kid Fernandez is really talented. He got in foul trouble early, and that helped us a lot because if he can get it going, especially at home, he's very dangerous, and they can put up a lot of points.
Coach, appreciate the time. Congrats on the win tonight.
Thanks, fellas.
Fordham 85, UMass 73, the final from the Rose Hill Gym. Coach Ergo talking about the impact of a bunch of players tonight, and it really was a true team effort, headlined by 23 and 11 from Chuba Ohams, who has been ridiculous over the last 6.
And we didn't even ask him about Chuba Ohams. That's what shows you how complete of an effort everyone that got in today's game scored a point. And obviously it starts and stops with the heart and soul of this team. A guy Coach Netton called the mayor in one of his post-game press conferences. Chuba Ohams, 23 and 11 for him. He continues to play excellent down the stretch as his Fordham career comes to an end.
Getting the 23 from Ohams, but also just to see Fordham do a complete 180 on the efficiency end of things. Shooting at 49% from the field, 58%, 11 of 19 from 3. Again, to keep in mind, UMass not a team that's very good defensively on the season, but it's not to diminish what Fordham was able to accomplish tonight because it had been a real struggle and Fordham took advantage.
And when you shoot 86% and a half, it doesn't matter who you play. I don't care. You could look at the efficiency numbers, whatever, 6 for 7 in the second half. They never really let UMass get back into this game. They hit shot after shot when it mattered late. Most impressive I've been with this offense this year.
And very clearly the impact felt for Fordham on the offensive end. Darius Quisenberry shaking off the rust, but the attention apparent from UMass defensively, it opened the whole offense up.
And being the only guy who didn't hit a 3 is shocking. They took one here tonight, but just to get him back on the floor, shake off that rust can be huge with the road game coming up. He's a guy who's experienced tough atmospheres before, and obviously with the A-10 tournament looming, just getting him back in the fold, when you get it in a win, huge plus for the Rams.
Ryan will wrap this thing up. Fordham, a 12-point victory over UMass to open the final week of the season, 85-73.
Now Fordham, they just had a great, I just asked Coach Erg about this, great short-term memory bouncing back from Davidson, but you need it on the other end of the spectrum. When you look at a game like this, you should sweep this team. You have the ability to beat them as we just saw, so playing them, a tough turnaround playing them Wednesday. This was obviously a rescheduled COVID postponement game, Nick, but you have to, keep that same energy, keep it going at UMass. It's going to be a tougher atmosphere, but you have to bring it like they did tonight.
Fordham will improve to 7-9 in conference. 7 wins in the A-10 for the first time in 6 years. That will wrap it up for us from the Rose Hill Gym. The final score once again, Fordham 85, UMass 73. Back to our Rose Hill studios as the one-on-one post-game report continues with Keenan Troy and Danny Scott.
Thank you, Nick. Thank you, Ryan. Back here in the Rose Hill studios. Before we break down the Fordham Rams' victory over the UMass Minutemen, final on this one tonight was Fordham 85, UMass 73. We're going to send it over to Danny Scott first for our last update of the night.
The one-on-one scoreboard.
In college hoops, North Carolina and Syracuse are heading to OT after they finished the second half locked at 73. In just a couple minutes, number 3 Baylor and number 23 Texas will face off in a battle of two top 25 teams. In the NBA, the Heat are up on the Bulls 60-48 a few minutes into the second half. The Nets and Raptors are playing at the Barclays Center, and the Nets are down 81-58 early in the second half. New York City Mayor Eric Adams released a statement saying that he would love to see Kyrie Irving play home games, but will not make an exception for the Nets star, saying it would send the wrong message to have an exception for just one player, when we're telling countless number of New York City employees, if you don't want to follow the rules, you will not be able to get employed. Over on the ice, the Devils are up big on the Canucks, leading in that one 6-2 in the second period. The Maple Leafs are up against the Capitals 3-2 in the second period. In the world of baseball, Derek Jeter has stepped down as Marlins CEO and shareholder earlier this morning, saying the vision for the future of the franchise is different than the one I signed up to lead. There is just a few hours left for Major League Baseball to come to an agreement on a new collective bargaining deal, or MLB will not be starting on time this year. With the one-on-one scoreboard, I'm Danny Scott.
Back in the Rose Hill studio for the post-game show. Fordham taking down the UMass Minutemen in the first leg of the home-and-home this week, 85-73. Danny, Fordham scoring the most points in regulation on the season. The only time they ever eclipsed 85 was in that double OT win over Central Connecticut State back in November. And this one, as good as Chuba was, notching his 17th double-double on the season, I mean, he's consistent. He led with 23, but it was a supporting cast that did it for the Rams. Had two other guys in double figures. Nowitzki, probably the big eye-opener with the performance that he had. Josh Colo-Navarro adding 14, Antrell Charlton with 8, Darius Quisenberry with 8, then a plethora of guys above 5. It was probably the best offensive performance we've seen from the Rams this season, definitely in the A-10. When you're pouring it in at the percentage that they did from 3, shooting 58% on the night, it's tough to lose basketball games. And after a real stinger in Davidson this past weekend, a huge rebound at home for the Rams.
The Rams, for whatever reason this year, when they get embarrassed by the team, they typically come back with a very strong performance. And like you mentioned, this is the first time in A-10 play that they eclipsed the 70-point mark. I believe they got 70 once against Duquesne, 72 in that one. And then in this one, they explode for 85, which is 20 more than their season average this year. They averaged 65 points a game, explode for 65. And like you mentioned, it was their three-point shooting 58% from 3, 11 for 19. You have guys, Patrick Kelly, 2 for 3, Rostik Nowitzki, 2 for 2, Zach Riley, 1 for 1. And the only guy that shot a 3 for the Rams is probably their best three-point shooter in Darius Quisenberry, and he went over 3.
Yeah, and, I think with Darius coming back from his injury, obviously they're just trying to tune him up before the A-10 tournament. He had 26 minutes tonight, which, is a big number, but what we were expecting from Darius and what we had seen throughout the season, he's a guy you expect 35 and north from. So him only playing 26 minutes, and, in the post-game interview we heard it, Dan, he's a guy on the floor that takes so much pressure off of Chuba down the stretch. And, we covered the LaSalle game last week together where Fordham went up big. They went on a 14-3 run to start this second half. And then we saw UMass start to chip away. And the question was, again, can this Fordham team, can they build off that LaSalle win of last week where LaSalle tried to claw their way back into the game and Fordham shut the door? Could they do it again, even though this game they had a little bit more cushion? And they did, and it was through Chuba Ohams. A monster game from him tonight. He had 23 with 11, his 17th double-double on the season. He's just a monster for this Rams offense. And, with the addition of Quisenberry coming back, and when the supporting cast can pour it on as much as they did tonight, it just looks like green pastures for this these Rams in a really loaded week, facing UMass on Wednesday and then picking up George Washington in the season finale on Saturday back here in the Bronx.
if the Rams can shoot like they did tonight, they can beat any team in this A10. If you have momentum going into this tournament, if they shoot like they did tonight, if you're getting 50% from the field and 58% from three, 75% from the free throw line, this is a team that could potentially make some noise come A10 tournament time. And you mentioned it, it was Chuba Ohams once again. What do you expect from the guy that's the best player on this Rams team? 23 and 11, his 17th double-double in the year, puts him securely in 6th place in the NCAA in double-doubles this season.
Yeah, you know, riding momentum is going to be big for these Rams, and got to have a short memory about this when we heard Ryan talking about it on the post-game show, back in action in 2 sleeps. But once again, Dan, the final score of today's game was Fordham 85, UMass Minutemen 73. It's about all we have time for tonight on the post-game show. Big win for the Rams. Sports director of WFUV is Bobby Chaffee-Ordini. The producer of today's game was Alex Wolves. Thanks to Chris Setnessy for today's on-site production, and always to Nick DeLuca and Ryan Gregware on tonight's call. Fordham's next game is on Wednesday, March 2nd, when they travel up to Amherst to take on these same UMass Minutemen. Tip-off is at 7 p.m., and we'll be on with the one-on-one pregame report at 7:50 on 90.7 FM and our WFUV Sports YouTube page. Until next time, for my partner Danny Scott on the updates, I'm Keenan Troy. We will see you on Wednesday for the Rams versus Minutemen Part 2. Take care. Fordham Rams Basketball is a production of WFUV Sports.
Doing the Smiths at member-supported 90.7 WFUV. Shoplifters of the World Unite. Morrissey has called that his favorite Smiths song.